Hello, hello. How are we doing tonight? I hope you're having a fantastic week, a fantastic evening. We are here live with you in the Action Lab on a Wednesday night. We are live on Twitch, your premier sports and entertainment talk show on the platform. It's like talking sports with your friends and family in your family room, except everyone's all over the world. That's right. Scotty, you are my partner in crime as always. Welcome, welcome. We have a massive show tonight.
Yeah. Got some stuff to talk about, obviously, and a lot of football to catch up on and preview week 4. We're almost, I keep saying, oh, this will be the quarter point. Now with 17 games, I don't know what to call it, but we're almost sort of a quarter of the way through the season after this week. So it moves on you quick.
Oh,
it moves quick, Chris.
I mean,
there's technically 18 weeks because you got some buys in there, but you know.
Yeah, we're here. We're getting through week 4. There's a lot of interesting matchups. We have a little bit of announcement here shortly we're going to get to once everyone kind of trickles in. But we want to make sure we are getting all of you guys welcomed in properly. G-Girl, Moon Princess, Chairman, Devil Doc, Football Wife, all of you guys, welcome in. Moon Princess, how are we doing? Everybody is just getting ready to rock and roll tonight on a Wednesday night. I hope everyone's having a good week. How's everyone's week going? Are everyone doing good? I'm kind of in a little bit of recovery mode. I'm getting back into the swing of things. I just spent 17 hours worth of tattooing on my back over the last 2 days. So there's that. I have a massive it's just a big plastic piece of tape on my back for all the tattoos I got over the weekend. So there's that.
Someone just clip. I have a massive, big, and then just stop it.
Let's just cut it off there, and then.
I'm just kidding. This is a show for the family, obviously.
Yeah. So I'm still it's interesting. It's like a sunburn right now, but battling through it. But yeah, hope that wasn't painful. It was painful for some of it. For I would say 25% of it was like kind of rough. The rest of the 75% was, it was there was some she added some like numbing cream at some parts of it to like get me through, because she was going over the same areas like multiple times. So she was like, here, you're going to need this. It's going to hurt like crazy. So then she just put some numbing cream and it was amazing. I didn't feel anything. But hey, you know what? It's not going to compare to your face tattoos that you had the other night, Scotty.
Yeah. What doesn't hurt is temporary tattoos, Chris. So maybe try those on for size.
Yeah.
Those weren't painful at all. Cuban Benny makes a good point. The pain is worth it for a quality tramp stamp, though. So good for you, Chris. Way to get that tramp stamp on the back there. Let's go.
It's part of it. It's part of it. So, yeah. So welcome in. G-Girl, go give G-Girl a follow, by the way, if you haven't already. Chairman, also, all you guys who are streamers, just go give them a follow, because they are fantastic. They do some amazing stuff on Twitch. But yeah, let's go ahead and let me do a quick shout out at
Speaking of shout out, should I shout? Now I'm in trouble. I bet I'm gonna get a text any second. It sounds like my volume's a little low, Chris. We were messing with my audio earlier today because there's been moments that I guess it sounded tinny or whatever, or weird or off, but now they just don't hear me, Chris.
Yeah, does that sound a little better for you guys? If that's too low, still let me know. Much better. There we go. It does
get muffled by the beard. That's a good point. I mean, you got to travel through a forest just to reach the microphone, guys.
Pretty much.
I don't know. I don't know, G girl. Chris and I have the same mic, so if you hear him, then it's all his fault if you don't hear me.
Yeah. No, it's
because I just bought what Chris had. I'm gonna be honest.
We just have some like basic, like old school basic like microphones. Yeah. There's nothing crazy, but
you don't want to hear me too well.
It gets the job done overall. You can't really complain there. But yeah, so welcome in. We're gonna be covering a lot tonight. We have week 4 of the NFL season, as mentioned. So we will be covering all of our top matchups of the week. We will have all of our best bets. Last week, between the two of us, we all went 6-2. So not bad between the two of us, Scotty.
Well, just say it how it was, Chris. You went 4-0. I went 2-2 for the 3rd straight week. It's fine.
Okay. I went perfect last week. Let's just put it like it is.
I have my bet of the century this week, though, Chris. It's the single greatest bet. I've never been more confident in a bet. And someone in this century. And someone in this chat is going to be very excited. I kind of already talked about it on Sunday night, but yeah, Chris, I have a lock of all locks. What? Obviously, gamble responsibly, but at the same time, bet your savings, all of it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, absolutely. We are going to make sure you win all the money in the world. This isn't gambling advice, though, right? I mean,
this is. I mean, you're still allowed to talk about sports gambling on Twitch, Chris. They took a lot of that other gambling away, but you can still talk sports. That's my understanding, at least, which could be limited.
Yeah.
Chris, big news they were bringing up in the chat before. About Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge just finally gets to 61. He took a little bit, Chris. People were starting to panic a little bit, but he got to 61 tonight, tying Maris in the AL for the all-time record. I'm going to say something, and I don't take this the wrong way. This is chat, especially like G-Girl. I know you're a Yankee fan and all that. This is nothing against the Yankees. It's nothing against Judge. Someone explain to me why, like, we don't do this in other sports. It's not like in the NFL, you're like, oh, this quarterback just threw the most yards in NFC history. It's like, no, it's NFL. It's one grouping. You don't separate them. But for some reason in baseball, it's like, oh, well, it's a big deal that he has the most home runs in American League history. Not the most home runs ever. And yes, you can call Bonds a cheater, whatever you want. That's fine. But still, it's like, Why is it so separated in baseball when we don't do that in any other sport? It's not like, Giannis had the best most Eastern Conference points we've ever seen in a playoff series, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's bizarre to me. It's weird.
Baseball does all the nerd stats, man. It's all about the nerd stats and like the end of like it you get the whip and you got the war and you got all these different weird things going on. Hey, Casually, let's go. Continuing on the gifted sub from Football Wife, paying it forward. There you go. Thank you, Casually. Let's go. We'll get to how you can also support the channel just like Casually Average did here shortly.
Chris, what does your tattoo say? I love my lab rats.
Yep, that's exactly what it says. Yeah, thank you, Football Wife, for the biddies. Let's go. Appreciate all the support, Casually and Football Wife. Thank you. A couple ways to support the channel, by the way, just like Football Wife did. You can send some bits along with a message, and we can all hear it as we just did. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, ! Prime in the chat will show you how you can link your Amazon Prime and your Twitch. Go ahead. Football Wife is great at doing that. Oh, and Football Wife. Moon Princess.
Moon Princess coming through, gifting out some subs. Thank you, Moon. Thank you so much.
Let's go.
Let's go. Getting a hype train going in a second here, Chris. I don't know.
It's on the tracks. All the good stuff. Congratulations to, let me scroll up a little bit. The Hebrew, Merging Rock, Pure Adrenaline, Xerxes, and Ishta Comic. There you go. Let's go. And the hype train is off and rolling on a level 2. By the way, going back to Football Wife, my tattoo does not say I love my lab rats, but I should. Should I just get our faces on my chest, maybe?
What? I'm sorry. What?
Our like little.
Do not put my face on your body in any fashion, Chris.
The only way I'll do it is if it has your beard. That's what I'll do.
I mean, don't. I'm caught off guard. I was unprepared for this, but please don't do that. I'm trying to think if I got a tattoo ever, which I don't have any. No big deal. Chris, I think I might go with just the Eli Manning double middle finger. Just somewhere. I don't even know where I put it.
Just Eli, or what's his new nickname now that he did that undercover?
Oh my gosh. What was his name in the undercover? Ross even made a joke about it today. Chad Powers. That's right.
Powers. Yeah.
Chad Powers.
Which, by the way, that he did not do like the best. Like, you could totally tell that he had some Eli Manning vibes going on underneath that thing. I feel like I would have probably.
I actually thought he sounded quite a bit different, Chris.
I thought just the look, you could maybe tell, like, by his size, you could maybe like infer maybe he's done something, but like. No. I don't know. Would you have recognized him, chat? Would you have been able to like recognize that was Eli?
It's tough to say though with now because now, so you're like, oh, I totally would have. But in the moment, I don't know. See, it seems like now that's what everyone's doing though. Everyone's trying to do like we'll dress them up and have this. Who else just did it? BYU did it with who's the only good basketball player that played at BYU, but then flamed out in the NBA.
Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah, Fredette. I think they did it with him recently at a practice. So everyone's trying to do it, which is fine. It's entertaining. Thought Eli did a good job with it. And now Russ is trying to come back at Eli. You heard Eli's comment on Monday night, right?
Yeah. And then Russ came back and was like, I'm still 3-0 against Chad Powers or something along those lines. I was like,
yeah.
Hey, he's not wrong. I'm still, by the way, I still look at that. I still look at the emote that we have. I'm shocked that got approved by Twitch. I'm shocked we got that through because
maybe it was so small they couldn't even tell. Maybe to them it was like, oh, he's just pointing at his face or something.
Cube and Benny putting some ugly thoughts in my head. Scotty's face on the whole front, nipple eyes, and belly button mouth. Oof.
It's just so disturbing.
No,
If you ever got my face on your body, I don't know if we could continue the show. It'd be a lot. You'd have to convince me.
It wouldn't be great. By the way, how dang small are the football players that at that school, and Eli is towering over all of them. That was an open recruiting.
It was like an open tryout. What is even the point? What is the point of that? They're not bringing anybody on.
See, yeah, G-Girl would have recognized him. I would have. I looked at that man for 20 years. Yes, I would have known.
He's got big nose. Just in real life. I don't know if they might have fixed it with Chad Powers, but.
By the way, it doesn't bother me that Bonds isn't a Hall of Famer, but it wouldn't really bother me if he was. I tilt towards
people.
No.
What do you guys think in the chat? What do you think, Chris? Do you think Bonds should be a Hall of Famer or no?
I mean, hey, G-Girl, thanks for the biddies. Love it. Let's go. I'm kind of with casually average, and casually average's perfect response to his own name is indifferent. It's like it just fits. I'm indifferent. Like, I guess. I don't know, man. I guess, like, here's the thing. I think I'd just be fine with him going in, whatever. Like, I mean, everyone else, but then you got to open it up to like everyone else, and like you got to take away some of like the barriers for the players that have been held hostage by this whole thing. Pete Rose first, says Devil Doc. I mean,
get Pete in there. I'm good. Get them all in.
Get them all in. Why not? I mean, they're crazy.
What are we doing?
Just get them all.
Two of the best hitters of all time, and their baseball's just rubbing their noses at it. Here's my thing with Bonds, though, Chris. He should absolutely be in the Hall of Fame. Okay, he wasn't alone in taking steroids, and he was so far, even with doing that, whatever.
You still got to hit the ball.
Best player in the league, and it wasn't close. It wasn't even close for a few years. And let's not even mention that MLB knew exactly what was going on, and they didn't care because they loved the product on the field because of it. And then eventually some things came up and too much got out there, where then all of a sudden baseball had to be like, oh, now we're gonna get mad at these players, and oh, I can't believe they're doing this. They knew. They didn't care because it got butts and seats, it had got people watching the game, and now they want to punish these guys and leave them out on an island. I'm not here for it. Bonds was so damn good. Pete Rose was great. Before my time, I didn't see a ton of Pete Rose, but based off of stats alone, like, truly incredible. Get these guys in. Enough. Stop it.
Stop. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. It's not the MLB. Writers decide for the Hall of Fame, says chairman. And that's...
But G-Girl, he wasn't the only one juicing. There were plenty of people juicing. It wasn't just Bonds. It wasn't even close to just Bonds. Also, and it wasn't just hitters. It was pitchers too, obviously.
Cuban Benny says Big Mac, Mark McGuire, and Sammy saved baseball. I mean, that was a time where baseball was going through, some lower ratings, and that literally brought some hype, more hype than probably baseball has seen. I mean, that was the most hyped home run race. I remember, not even as a baseball fan, watching baseball as a kid. And I mean, I don't even care about the Cubs or the Cardinals. And I was like glued to the TV watching those two teams, and I could care less. Clemens, Barry Bonds, Ken Caminetti, Jason Giambi, Juan Gonzalez, Mo Vaughn, Miguel Tejada. Says Devil Dog.
I mean, yeah, there's a laundry list more. Unfortunately, some of the guys that took him still weren't any good, so it didn't matter. And you don't even know about those guys. But to me, yeah, baseball was coming off the lockout of '94. They needed, obviously there were a ton of furious people over that lockout. They needed fans back in the seats. They needed viewership back. It was actually one of the smartest things baseball ever did, was just let that occur without enforcing it. And then they got they had to at some point because, people are people, and they're like, oh, I can't believe this is happening, and blah, 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 blah. You can tell what side I am on that. Like, never mind. I won't go down that road. But yeah, I think it was great for baseball. I think Bonds was great for baseball. Anyone that can change the game and attract people to the game that much, I could care less what you're doing and what you're injecting in your body, quite frankly.
Speaking of baseball, there's only a couple races coming down the stretch, and one of them happens to be with the New York Mets and the Atlanta Braves tied at 97 wins, 58 losses. And they have a series coming up in the next few days that is going to be probably on my TV every single night. And it's going to be an amazing series. There right now, the Mets were down to Miami, and they ended up tying it up here 4-4. So, hey, we'll see what ends up happening there. But keep an eye on those last little baseball races. There's not too many of them. And then we're going to be into October. Hunt for October, Scotty. We're going to be getting into the MLB playoffs. So we'll be covering a little bit of that as well, just as we go through that.
Yeah, and that's a great race, but that's also, both those teams are getting in the playoffs. It's not like it's basically a division battle there, but both are obviously getting in. The problem is there's not a great, maybe the Padres and Phillies right now are like the last, or actually no, the Phillies are in. I'm sorry, the Phillies and Brewers is what I meant.
Yeah, the Brewers are
Phillies and Brewers are like the one race we have for that last wild card spot in the NL, and I think both of them will be one and done. So whatever. Yeah. Whoever. Let's let the Phillies in. The Brewers have been in a lot and just flamed out all the time.
Yeah, the team that wins gets a bye, Chairman. Yeah, that's
for
true.
Sure. I'm not saying it's not important.
It's
important. I just mean it's not like, all right, season's over if you don't win this.
Did I miss the big announcement? No, let's get to it right now. So big announcement. We will be breaking news live.
We should have a breaking news sound, Chris.
Oh, I just played it. You just can't hear it.
I can't hear it. All right. Well, sorry guys, I ruined that.
There's by the way, I looked into that. There's not really a great workaround for that, but we'll keep experimenting. But breaking news. We will be live tomorrow for Thursday night football, and we are going to be, it sounds like, on the front page carousel of the entire website.
Of Twitch.
We got some news that this was possibly happening, and I think that this is going to happen. So we're going to go live tomorrow night. We are going to go live probably around 7 o'clock our Mountain Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. So not for the start of the game, unfortunately. But we will be live. We will be doing bingo. Touchdown! Let's go! But we're going to be doing bingo, and we're going to be doing all sorts of cool stuff. So make sure you guys come through and check it out. We might have a bigger crowd than normal, but welcome everybody that pops in, and it'll be a lot of fun. So, yeah, we're looking to have a lot of folks coming in. We'll see.
Football wife for your Bengals. Your Bengals tomorrow against the mighty, mighty, unbeatable, greatest team to ever grace the earth, Dolphins.
We will go and check that game out. It's one of the better games of the week, too, so I'm excited for that. So, Bengals, Dolphins, tomorrow night in the Action Lab, starting at 9 o'clock Eastern. Be here. You'll get the notifications. Hit that follow button if you're here and you're not following, so that you get the notifications when we go live. But that'll be super exciting for us, and we're adding another game to our slate for the week. So, can't wait to get that extra overtime in. Let's go. So
putting in the work, and it should be, well, on paper it looks like a good game. I'll explain later why it's going to be a blowout, Chris.
Ooh.
A blowout.
Football wife's ears are just perked up. What are you talking about? Are you talking about my boys? Or are you talking about your boys? The Dolphins or the Bengals? So we'll get to that here soon enough. But before we do, again, other things that we do want to make sure you guys know is our socials. I'm sorry, we've been kind of rough at putting together socials recently. It's been kind of a busy time, so I've been trying to keep up with it. But go give us a follow on all these socials, and then also podcast, ! Podcast right here gives you all the ways you can catch our show. Make sure you go in and hit us up. Hit the follow button on all the Spotify, the Apple, whatever you use for your podcast, and you can listen to us. You could take Chris and Scott in the car with you. You could take us on your, train rides. You could take us wherever you have headphones and an internet connection.
It's a terrifying thought. I apologize, guys.
Yeah,
I apologize that the internet exists and this is possible. Chris, when you said the first thing and then you started pointing at your chest, I thought you were going to say you could get a tattoo of our faces on your chest, maybe?
You could. That's also a thing, too. Pick'em in the chat as well. Go ahead and join our Pick'em. It's not too late. You can still show off perfect picks if you want and join in on all the action that we have going on our social, on our contests. No regrets. Or no regrets. Yeah.
I think that's regrets.
Yeah,
It's just hard to spell.
All the people that spell it wrong, and it's like
football wife is the pick'em queen. Just absolutely dominating.
She's on her way to winning a hoodie. She doesn't even have to. We don't even have to buy her one, even though we need to. But you know, she won't let us. She's killing it, says Moon. But all right. So first off, I want to get to a couple sound bites here to get us warmed up. We're doing a little thing here where we have a couple sound bites just to get us off and running. And want to get your thoughts, Scotty. Want to get all your thoughts in the chat, and then we could dive into all of our games of the week. And then we have a coming in hot later on that we're gearing up for some big time sports coming down the pipeline, and we can't wait to, well, we hope we can't wait for some of them, and we definitely are questioning some of them. So we'll get to that. You'll know more what I mean on that here very, very soon. But first off, let's sit on the couch for a little bit, Scotty. Let's sit on the couch. Let's turn on the TV. And let's see what we got here. So first clip here, we're going to do a little sounding off. You like little Allen Iverson up there, Jim Mora up there, all the best quotes, right? All the best quotes come from the press conferences. And here we have a press conference here for you. I'm going to turn down.
Nice TV, Chris. Is that 4K? Do we have 4K on this one?
It's 4K. Yeah, we're next gen here. We're doing it. So you can see all those braids of Kyler Murray just pouring into his face. Here we go. First clip of the evening.
I tell guys all the time, always like never, never, you got to be awake playing with me. Like, I mean, it's, no matter what the play is, I got free reign to do whatever, get into whatever. So when you're asleep and you don't think you're getting the ball, we can't play like that. Everybody's got to be lit up, in the game, locked in, and we just got to be better, and we will be. But again, it's frustrating when you lose. When you feel like you could have played better, could be in the game.
So there you go. Pretty much he's saying, hey, you got to be awake. Like, hey, there's a guy, like, pretty much calling people out. Like, hey, I'm out there doing my thing. You better be awake and ready because I'm playing. And you guys need to step it up. I mean, I feel like that was more of calling out, guys that, I don't know, man. For a guy that gets a lot of criticism for studying and for everything else, he seems to be pointing some fingers here in this one, and it's all on everyone else. Scotty, what are your thoughts here? New segment says reckoning. We're mixing up some new segment ideas. We have a few in store for you guys, so we can't wait. But sounding off will be one coming up too. So, yep.
Yeah, Moon Princess kind of has this, right? You got to be awake to play with me. My guy, you look like you smoked 6 blunts before the game. The guy is literally in the post-game presser saying you got to be awake, and he looks asleep during it, Chris. I don't even know his eyes were open as he was saying this. That's all I can think about. That's all I can think about is the fact that he looks asleep while he's saying everyone's got to be awake.
It's true.
I mean, dude, and I'm not saying he's wrong. Maybe he's not wrong. And honestly, that's a thing, like, I know very well as a Chiefs fan, like, as a wide receiver on the Chiefs with Mahomes, you better keep moving. He's going to create, and he'll find you on areas you think he'll never find you. But, like, dude, you're so lame in your presser. Like, have some energy while you're saying other people on your team need to have energy, maybe. I know you're upset you lost. That's fine, but he's so, when he calls a play in the huddle, hopefully it's the right play. I don't know if he studied that week or not, but it's got to put people to sleep in the huddle. That's how boring this dude is. Like, have some energy yourself. Take leadership. You're the quarterback. Have some self, put it on you and have some energy in the huddle and motivate some guys to do what you want them to do.
I was about to say that exact same thing right before you said it. And it's like, aren't you the leader of this team? Aren't you the guy that gets people motivated in the huddle? Aren't you the guy that has the voice on that offense that gets everyone jacked up to run things through? And you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get real here. Like, it's not you're pointing the fingers at everyone else, but then, you know, there's not any accountability being, hey, it's on me to get these guys hyped up. It's on me to get these guys running the right routes. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, R.S. Parker, it's been a while. What's up, Pork Chop? How we doing, buddy? It makes much more
What's up,
embarrassing.
Chop?
They beat Las Vegas. Yeah. How we doing, Chop? Yeah, man, I need to see my squatties 3v3 taking the objective, posting a higher KD ratio. That's right. He's got it. You know, he's much more woke when it comes to his Call of Duty KD kill death ratio on that. Murray in the huddle. Murray in the huddle, like circle, triangle, up, left, square. Yeah.
Ready, break.
And wait. Cheat codes don't work in this? Wait. The Ask Madden feature isn't working for me.
The funny thing is, he loves gaming, and I'm not even sure he's playing Madden.
He's not.
I don't even think he's playing Madden.
No, he's playing his Call of Duties, and it's fine. He likes his first person shooters, but yeah, man, it's just I think I want more accountability coming from my quarterback. If I'm and if I'm his team, if I'm the receivers, or if I'm somebody on that roster and he's calling us out like that, I hope he had these conversations face to face with his team, in addition to saying this at the press conference. Because if he did not, and he just does this and doesn't talk to his team about this, man, he's going to have people turning on him like nobody's business. It's not going to be looking pretty. I'll drink to that.
I mean, 0 touchdowns last week. 0.
That's not on always your... I mean, you're the one throwing the ball, bro. You're the one throwing the ball.
Football wife out here call them shortcakes.
Thank you, Football Wife, for gifting us up to JK.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone foresee Hopkins requesting a trade while suspended this year, says Casually?
I feel like it's a difficult time to request a trade when you get suspended for 6 games due to taking some illegal substance or whatever. Hard time to be like, you guys are letting me down, so I would like to be on another team when you literally just got suspended for six games of the season. Nah, he's staying put.
Kind of a tough sell there. Next up here, we want to touch on... Give me a second while I pull this one up. Oh, Diacola, thank you for gifting a sub to Chop. There you go. Welcome back in. There you
Let's go.
All right. And then the other one here, give me a second while I adjust this. Okay. We're just having a little, there we go. Boom. Moving some things around. All right. Secondary, we have Mr. Trevor Lawrence coming in. Let's take a listen to what Trevor had to say in his press conference.
The way we've played, you can't deny that we're a really good team. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what it says about us. We know who we are. Our only goal on Sunday is to go win the game. And what other people think about us doesn't really matter. Every week we're going to prepare the same way. We're going to be ready to play, and we got a bunch of competitors. The way we've played, you can't deny that we're a really good team.
So you can't, the quote there, you can't deny that we're a really good team. And I think he's speaking a lot to what we've been talking about over the last couple weeks. The Jags are sneaking up on people. Now, all of a sudden the Jags are winning a couple games and they got this little swagger to them. You know what I'm saying? You got Sunshine here saying, oh man, no one can deny that we're a good team. And again, they're competing and they're doing some good things. Scotty, do you agree with Trevor? Do you think that he's saying all the right things? I mean, what do you...
Is he? I mean, I would hold back. Yeah, you can be confident. I'm actually fine with what he said.
Yeah.
Chris, because I heard it earlier because you gave me the clip, but I wasn't listening now. All I could think about watching this right now is, could he give Davis Mills a run for his money on neck length? Take a look at that. From the right angle, that neck might be just as long, if not longer, than Davis Mills. That's the important thing I want to dive into here. Can we get them side by side at some point here? I mean, they play each other twice a year. There's no reason we can't get a shot of neck to neck between Davis Mills and Trevor Lawrence. I think that's what we need to do here.
But I think with the neck though, he's got like those tree stump necks that goes in like
it's thick. It's thick.
It goes wide as he gets.
Yeah.
That's a massive neck there.
Again, we're using the words thick and massive, describing a male right now. It's fine. It's fine, guys. We're cool, you know. To each their own.
I mean, yeah, it's a doozy right there. He's got a point. They have lots of top draft picks, says Cuban.
Listen, I'm shocked that their defense is playing as well, because I didn't think their defense was going to be there. But it's amazing when you get a real coach in, and Doug Peterson, what can happen. And the team, I mean, they won by 24 and 28 the last 2 weeks against the Colts and Chargers. That's no joke for sure. And they've given up 10 total points in those two games. So we'll get into in our previews. They have a shockingly one of the biggest games of the weekend, which I didn't see coming before the season started. But Jags Eagles, we'll talk about maybe the two teams that have surprised a lot of people more than any other team.
Yeah, long ass neck junior. Lawrence looks very much like a baby AJ Hawk. Don't tell Hawk that, because that dude gets upset. His neck popped out from being kicked by Urban Meyer. I mean, you got to feel good about yourselves, but he didn't really brag too much about himself for this team, and he's right. That the focus is on 1 week at a time. Yeah, he's good about saying the right things, and I love that about him. And I mean, it's just interesting to see the Jaguars with swagger. All this, like it's not something I'm used to seeing, and I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
I mean, a few years ago, they actually made the AFC Championship game, and their defense had swagger. Their defense had a ton of swagger at that time.
Was that with Jalen Ramsey? Yep.
Yeah. A ton of dudes on that defense. That defense was really, really good. The offense was not great, but still made an AFC Championship game and a lot of swagger. But then it died like literally the next season. They were trash again. So for their offense to finally be, I mean, you got to go back. I'm trying to remember when Jacksonville was good on offense. You got to go back to like, I mean, not as far as like Mark Brunell days, but who's the offensive coordinator right now for the Bucs? That was the quarterback for the Jags for a while. Their offense was decent.
Byron Leftwich?
Leftwich. David Garrard was whatever. Leftwich was probably better than Garrard. Like
the stash.
We're literally talking
run.
about who's the greatest Jags quarterback they've ever had in their franchise history.
I mean, Gardner Minshew, the stash had a nice like burst real quick, but that was like it. It wasn't like long term.
I think you could argue. I mean, it comes down to like Brunell versus Leftwich for their best quarterback. And I know they're a younger franchise, but they've still been around for. I think they started in what, like 95, 96? Is that when them and Carolina became a franchise? So actually, it was earlier than that. It was like 93. I feel like, because they played the Broncos in like 95, 96 and beat them in the playoffs with Brunell, which was so epic. I love that game. One of my favorite games.
Chop says, meh, they're still the Jags. Eagles are for real, though. He likes the Eagles, and he calls him Daddy Thickneck. That's the new nickname, Daddy Thickneck, here for Trevor Lawrence.
Maybe we just do total land area between him and Mills, because Mills is probably a little longer, but he's probably got the girth on him. So we just go total mass, and see who wins
the girth
on their neck.
The girth.
A little more girth.
I almost forgot about the Blake Bortles era. Didn't that have a 130 touchdown season? David Garrard days.
Cuban. Jag's best QB started last season as tight end. Let's go, Cuban.
Coming in, Cuban's on fire tonight. The year the year the Bengals traded up to draft Achilles Smith on that one. Tampa and KC might be playing in Minneapolis, says JK.
Yeah. I don't know why the NFL already hasn't decided, and we're going to talk about that game, but why has that game not been moved yet? It's just like, what? Like, how hard is it going to be? Obviously, the Tampa players aren't even in Tampa right now. They relocated to Miami to practice this week, so no one's in Tampa. Why are you going to risk like bringing them in? Like, a lot's going to be going on there with obviously this awful hurricane that's hitting the Florida coast, on that Gulf Coast side. Like, why even mess around with it? And people will say, well, it's just helping the Chiefs if it's in Minneapolis. I just think it's easier for both teams to not have to like worry about getting a flight in, and when there's so much other things and more important things that are going on in that area than a football game.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and there's been speculation on them moving that game, and they still haven't figured out. Like, I mean, it's going to be weird.
I think it's going to be in Minneapolis. I do.
If they gotta start making some moves quick though. I mean, things are happening. So let's dive into all of our week 4 previews. So every single week, in case you're new to the channel, we dive into all of our top games of the week. We only cover, a handful of games that we think are going to be super interesting. If you guys want to talk about some other games, feel free to throw them in the chat once we get towards the end of our previews here, and we'll just dive into any other additional games you want. But we'll talk about some of the spreads. We'll talk about some of the trends and things coming into these games. So you guys just make sure you have everything you need to know about these games going into week 4. So starting out here, we have Dolphins and Bengals kicking off this week in Thursday Night Football, which we will be live for in case you missed the initial announcement that we had before in the beginning of the stream. We will be live tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to be covering this game. We're going to make sure you guys are playing some bingo with us. We're going to have some new folks coming in. We're going to cover this top to bottom. It'll be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys join in all of the action. And we're going to have a lot of cool folks popping in, hopefully, and joining us. So welcome them. Make sure they feel like part of the community, and we can't wait to have more folks joining all of what we do here in the Action Lab. But Dolphins at the Bengals. Bengals are favored by 4 in this one. It's in Cincinnati. Obviously, you have the Dolphins coming in off of another win, right? They're hyped. Who knows whether or not Tua's going to be... I mean, he's not going to be 100% because he didn't go through the concussion protocol. If you missed it out on this last game, we talked a lot about this on our Sunday show about how, he got hit, he got concussed on the field visibly, fell on his own to the ground on the way to the sideline, and still came back in that game, which was mind-boggling to everybody else watching. I mean, he definitely was visibly concussed. They blamed it on a flat back injury, but that's not the only injury he has. He has a couple other injuries. He's nagging injuries that have been kind of he's dealing with. So who knows if you're getting a full, healthy Tua that's going to be effective in this game. And then, Bridgewater, I mean, he's not going to be too much of a fall off. On the other end, you have a Cincinnati Bengals team who's kind of struggled early on in the season, but he's kind of gotten that back. Offensive line still is a little work in progress, but it's going to be an interesting game. Bengals favored by 4 here. Bromco, welcome in, first time chatter. Who's your team and where are you from? Like to get to know you a little bit. They say it's a travesty. That I think they're referring to that stupid,
the Tua stuff or the Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
Cowboys. R.S. Parker's trying to... We'll get into that Cowboys game. Don't you worry, Chop. All right,
Scott,
we'll get into that Cowboys game. But
you like this one a lot.
Is the... Oh, my gosh. It's one of the greatest situations in sports betting you'll ever encounter, Chris. Okay. What you look for in sports betting is situations and like the right time to play a team based off of more so maybe what the other team's having to endure. You have a Miami team that has come off really 3 huge games. New England week 1, Baltimore week 2, Buffalo week 3. Riding high, 3-0. Despite, keep in mind last week they lost the yardage battle to Buffalo by like 250 yards. So yes, they won the game, but were they the better team? Probably not. But they credit to them, they got the W. You played in Miami. You're exhausted from the heat. Now you have a short week. You're traveling to Cincinnati against a team that started out 0-2, got a win, finally under their belts, needs another one this week. This game is far more important to the Bengals. The Dolphins, you have a Tua that's like, who do we know? How do we know what he's going to be? Especially based off, obviously he was concussed like you talked about. Like, this is the best situation you could ever have as a bettor. And a lot of people will see Bengals -4, and I actually got them at 3, technically. So I bet them on our Sunday night show. I was like, oh, they're only -3. This line's going to move in the wrong direction for me. So I bet Bengals -3 on Sunday night on our stream. But the Bengals are in a way better spot right here to take down this game. I don't think this game's going to be close, Chris. I really, really don't. I think the Bengals come out and dominate. I just don't think it's a good situation. That's not a testament to, I think the Bengals are a far superior team to the Dolphins. I think on a neutral, they're almost even squads on a normal situation. But the ask you have from the Dolphins this week and what they have to endure and what they've gone through being 3-0, I just don't see them ready to go in this game. And then today on Twitter, Chris, someone was videoing and posting from the stands the Dolphins walkthrough practice today.
Oh.
Which is kind of a huge deal. Like, and I'm sure Bengals coaches got a hold of that. Like, it's very not okay to do that. No one should ever do that. That's awful. But honestly, that is an awful, awful thing to do. But it's going to help the Bengals a ton if they do, in fact, see that footage. Because getting that walkthrough footage of plays and you get to see what the Dolphins are trying to run is going to be a help to that defense. This is, to me, the lock of the year, Chris. My favorite bet I've had in a long, long time. I'm all on the Bengals.
Okay. I like it. So, yeah, I mean, I agree, though. We talked about the Seahawks when their Super Bowl early on in the season against the Broncos. That was theirs. I mean, the Dolphins were kind of coming off a Super Bowl type game last week. Like, they were putting all their effort into that win. They know that the Bills are the cream of the crop of that division, and they wanted to prove themselves. They did it with that weather. They did it they put everything out there. Then they got to come back, travel up north to Cincinnati for this one. I like it too. I mean, the only worry that I have that, kind of gives me question is knowing Eli Apple, Von Bell, and the rest of the Bengals secondary can't stop the receivers of Miami. But even still, I think like the Dolphins, it's going to be tough. I don't know what I'm getting with Tua. Tua's going to be I don't even know where he's at from a percentage standpoint, but Joe Burrow and Tua, former college rivals, will meet again this week, and it'll be one of the best games. We will see it tomorrow night here on Twitch in the Action Lab, so make sure you guys join us tomorrow night. Let's get to the chat here. What else do we have? I hope you're right, Scotty, says Football Wife. If Dolphins win, then Miami is a real playoff team, says Mr. Boofus. Welcome in, Mr. Boofus. Pork Chop agrees. Do Bengals have any former Patriot coaches, says Cuban?
Talking about filming some video.
Did you pick the Bengals, Football Wife? I took them.
Yeah, maybe we should just have Football Wife on and letting us know who's going to win each game. That might be a better alternative so people can just follow her because she is absolutely crushing. And she said she took the Bengals, and she's very neutral on this game. It's not like she's a fan of either team. So, Chris, you mentioned like you're worried about the secondary for the Bengals, and I don't disagree with that, except for the fact that the Bills were literally starting both their starting safeties were out. They had corners out. They had between their 2 starting corners and safeties, they had 3 combined starts in their career. between the four of them, Waddle had 4 catches for 102 yards. Tyreek had 2 catches for 33 yards against Buffalo. Like, everyone wants to anoint this Miami offense. I'm not there yet. You take away that fourth quarter against Baltimore, and they've looked very pedestrian every other quarter. Every other one. And I'm going to take the 11 quarters instead of the 1, Chris. I'm not there with the Miami offense. I think it's better and certainly improved, and I think Miami's a playoff team, but they are not an elite offense, and I'm still not a Tua dude. I'm not on board.
Yeah, Tua's it's kind of hard. I feel like Tua still has a lot to prove, even though he's played well. He like the eyeball test is still. I feel like people are just giving a lot of love to everyone around Tua as opposed to giving Tua the love that, and it's interesting because they still need to make a decision on Tua eventually on whether or not he's their guy moving forward. And I don't know if you can say legitimately, like, I'm comfortable with this guy being my franchise quarterback for the future, like moving forward. I think that you still need to see a lot more from him and the consistency before you can make some of those calls. But that's where we leave this one. Next up, we have the Buffalo Bills at the Ravens. Baltimore Ravens here hosting the Bills, and Bills are favored by 3 in Baltimore. You got 2 powerhouses, right? So you got the Ravens, who have been super dynamic with Lamar Jackson, and then you have the Bills, who in a lot of people's eyes are still the best team in the entire NFL, favorites to win it all. But with this one, Buffalo is coming in as the favorites. Scotty, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, talking even off a loss, the Bills are absolutely the best team in the NFL right now. At the end of the year, does that equate to a Super Bowl? Not necessarily, but right now, Bills best team in football, no doubt in my mind. But the Ravens are a top 5 team for me. Like, they've been playing. I mean, Lamar Jackson's been out of his mind. Like, he's playing right now, Chris, better than he did in his MVP year. And I hate that I have to say this, but Lamar's been balling. That offense has been cooking. In Baltimore, I think this is a tough spot for Buffalo after an emotional loss where, I mean, they left battered and bruised, and like they were cramping. They had a ton of like heat stroke stuff. It's even worse for Buffalo than Miami because Miami forces the road team to be on the sunny side. So you're in the sun throughout the game, even when on the sideline. I think this is a tough spot for Buffalo. I think Baltimore is better than people are giving credit for. So while I still think Buffalo is the best team in the league, I'd lean Ravens here. If it was 3.5, I'd take Ravens. And it was 3.5, and it moved to 3. So I don't have more than a lean, but at 3.5, I'd actually take the Ravens. Maybe with the Bills winning a close 3 or less points game. It should be a good one. This actually is probably there's some good matchups this week, but this is definitely one of the best ones.
Yeah, this one, it could be super interesting for me. I think the Buffalo Bills, they were almost one of my picks for one of my best bets, but I didn't trust it based off of the fact that they had that brutal week in Miami, and then flying up north to Baltimore against a good team that can control the ball on the ground, take the ball out of the Buffalo Bills' hands a little bit. I was like, you know what? This could be a little closer than I expect. I don't want to mess around with this one, but this will be a fascinating game. I think this is one of the better games of the weekend as well. And honestly, I think this will be a nice test for the Bills to see how they play. The Ravens have been able to put up points. This will be a test for the Bills' defense and see how they can get pressure on.
Still beat up in the secondary. The Ravens, you think of the Ravens of old as like a run-first team. That's not who they are this year. Their run game is actually pretty poor. Buffalo's run game is incredibly poor. These are 2 elite teams that rely on their quarterbacks 100% on offense and that passing game.
Which, I think is what makes this one super, super intriguing. But this will be one of the games I'm watching. Like I said, I didn't bet it on, but It's going to be
Isaiah McKenzie's the next Cooper Kupp. Just wait. I don't even know what to say to that. I want to be nice. What? Wasn't Isaiah McKenzie? Wasn't he a Bronco, Chris?
Was he? I don't think it was.
He was 100% a Bronco. And he did nothing. He was a disaster. And now he's the second coming of Cooper Kupp.
Devil Doc says Bills by 9. I do lean Bills in this matchup, but I don't love it, which is why it's not one of my bets of the week. But I want to see more Zach Moss, says R.S. Parker. Let's go Bills. Moon Princess, there's no such thing as an easy win, but if the offense can at least get their act together and play like they want it, we'll be okay. Now, yeah, I think just trying to reel in Lamar Jackson that's the big focus here. Bengals had an easy win over the Jets. LOL, says G Girl.
You're wrong. Whoever said Isaiah McKenzie was not a Bronco, reckoning, you're wrong. He absolutely started his career with the Broncos. It was only 1 year, but he started with the Broncos. He had a memorable 4 catches on 13 targets for 29 yards.
Ooh.
I remember it very vividly.
So there you go. So keep an eye on this game. This will be a lot of fun. Bills by 7, says G Girl. A lot of people love the Bills by a lot.
I actually, all right. I'd take the Ravens, even while saying I think the Bills are the best team in football.
If you guys will actually, this rings the bell for some Discord bets. Throw some bets into our Discord if you think that the Bills are gonna just cover this outright. Throw it in our Discord, and you will have. There's like a betting section, and you could bet whatever you want. So you can be like, Scotty, if I win, you got to send me an Action Lab hat. If you win, we'll gift out 5 subs to the community or something. You can just make whatever bets you want, and we'll approve or disapprove and counter. But we can have some fun action going on. Betting channel is
this is
right
the
there.
Action Lab.
Lab versus Lab Rats. So
get in the Discord and make it happen.
If you want to throw out,
there hasn't been anything going on prior. Everything was prior to the season.
Yeah, so we can get some weekly bets going this week. And if you guys love the Bills, throw it in there. If you think they're gonna be, solid.
Everyone's like by 7, by 9. So just give me 3.5 with the Ravens, and I'm on board.
Yeah. We talked a little bit. Oh, G Girl, how hurt is the secondary still? I think there's still 2 or 3 guys that are
one of their safeties is out for a year. I don't even remember which one. Is it Poyer? No, it's the other one. But I think they're still both out, and their corners are beat up. They don't have White back yet, who was their elite corner from last year. Micah Hyde, that's right. Micah Hyde's the one that's out for season. Poyer, I don't know if he's going to be back this week. I haven't really heard, but even if he's back, it seems rushed. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup. And Bills, if I'm a coaching staff for the Bills, let me help you guys on defense. Just guard the middle of the field.
Yeah.
You do not have to guard shallow outside. He's like the antithesis of Russell Wilson. He does not throw it short to the outside, which is the only place Russell throws. So they're like the opposite, Chris. It's a fun little enigma there.
Yeah. Also, going back to Random asked earlier, who wins between Auburn and LSU? Talking a little bit of college. I actually haven't seen the spread on that one on between the two, but I would say LSU off the top of my head, but I probably am not in it enough to
Neither of them are great this year.
I mean, LSU is favored by 9.5, so I mean, just off the face, I feel like LSU. I mean, even before I looked it up, I LSU had a better team going into the season.
I mean, neither are even ranked. And actually, speaking of rankings in college football, Chairman, you did have a question earlier that I meant to address, but we got on other topics. He's like, what does Kansas have to do to get ranked? Right? KU right now is like 26th in one poll, like the first other receiving vote team, and the other one they're like 27th overall. There's no reason Kansas shouldn't be ranked. Jalen Daniels, their quarterback, is one of the top. I would almost argue he's been one of the top 5 players offensively in college football this year, Chris. He's that good. So if you haven't watched Kansas football, check them out. They're actually a ton of fun to watch. The offense is so good because their defense is still not quite there. It's not great. But their offense is very, very good.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm going to do a code yellow real quick, Chris.
Code yellow. Chairman. Effing Mets just won. Let's go. I'll take that. We need the wins, man. We need the wins. Hey, spam code yellow in the chat. If you are here, make sure. Hey, let's make sure Scotty's sent off the right way. Next up on our chat here, we have the Broncos and the Raiders. So, we got an AFC West battle here. Broncos, Raiders, this is going to be a close one. Two teams that are kind of in weird spots, right? The Raiders picked by some to finish towards the top of the division, start out 0-3. Broncos picked by me to be at least in the top 2. And they're looking really questionable. Not great. This game is going to be kind of strange for me because I don't know how this is going to look. The Broncos, there was a couple good things that I saw from the Broncos when it came to that game-winning drive, which kind of gave me, it wasn't like a perfect game-winning drive, but it was a game-winning drive nonetheless. Now, I'm worried about this one because if you're looking at both of these offenses, there's one that's better than the other. And that's the Raiders offense is going to be the more dynamic offense. Carr can throw the ball downfield a lot more than what Russell Wilson has shown that he can do, which he's only done like 2 or 3 times all season, and that's throw the ball past like 30 yards. It doesn't happen very often in this offense. So I'm a little worried about just the burst plays that the Raiders can put up points fast and the Broncos can't. That's terrifying for me. Hey, there's Rachel. What's going on, Rach? Let's all say hi to Rachel. Yeah. Hey. Again, Scotty. Maybe she should just replace Scotty at this point. Should we just have her sit in? She should just take his spot, put on the headphones. There it is.
Yeah, I was like, she walked in here and I'm like, and turned the corner. I'm like, I'm still going, right? And I don't think she knew I was angled a little bit. So,
but yeah, everyone's saying, she should have just probably, took your spot, just sat in your chair while you were gone.
I can ask her real quick. I can ask her. Rach.
Here we go.
I'll ask her. You guys want her to replace me? Much better to look at. Much better. And Rec's almost certain that she's going to have better takes.
JK, Chris, would you start Javonte in fantasy? Yeah, I think I would. It depends on who else you have, though. Obviously, I mean, who else is on your team, and I'll tell you whether or not you should start Javonte. But yeah, everyone's. Cameron,
she's like, she can't grow a beard like that, but she grows a pretty mean mustache, Chris.
don't you better not let her know you just said that.
I'm joking. Obviously she waxes that. All right.
She's gonna murder you right
now.
No
one clip that.
No one
clip that. Let's all calm down here. It was a joke.
That's gonna be clipped.
She instantly. Is wonderful. Oh my goodness. This is it for me, Chris. This is it. I don't even know where I'm going to live.
You are now allowed to grow that beard out indefinitely based off the fact that you're not living in the same house, in the same roof anymore.
Guys, I was just upset because you all wanted her instead of me.
Scotty,
I was feeling sad.
Football-wise, Scotty, you're in timeout. Couch night. Oh, man. Woo!
Bruh.
There you go.
We only say what we mean. Not always. I'm a very sarcastic person, okay? Sometimes I just make jokes. Yeah, everyone's Team Rachel. I got it.
Just can't win.
I've been on here for almost 2 years, and everyone sees her for 2 seconds and is instantly Team Rachel. I get it.
This dude.
It's fine.
You're gonna be outside camping. All you'll hear is crickets out there. Just
I'm not the camping type, guys, so I may not last out there, even in like my backyard.
Well, let's
it's
be
gonna be
nice.
rough.
Let's be nice.
say something
Yeah.
nice.
Come
on, man.
Say something nice about Rachel. All right.
Me?
Yeah.
Say something nice about Rachel? How long is the stream? Rachel is amazing. She's an amazing wife, an amazing mother, absolutely wonderful human being. I outkicked my coverage by a lot, Chris. I realize that.
Roger.
And these things I'm actually saying, and I actually feel that they're true. So, just gonna be honest for a little bit here,
Aw,
guys.
so sweet.
She's the best because she has to live with me.
Yep.
I didn't mention cooking. I wouldn't say that's like no. I'm not gonna ruin it again. Just gonna leave it alone.
Just leave it alone. I'll just say she's a great drinking partner. She can put them back.
She does get hyped and peer pressure people into drinking. No doubt about it.
All right, let's get back to the Broncos Raiders here after that little detour off of this. She could drink under the table. I'm in.
Not sure I'd go that far.
Rachel is the absolute best, says Diacola. Scotty's being serious again.
It doesn't come around often.
Broncos Raiders. So I was talking a lot about how these two teams, like the dynamic nature of their offenses, there's one advantage, and that goes to the Raiders. The defense, I think, advantage-wise, goes to the Broncos. They've had a lot better play from their defensive side. So, honestly, I think this is going to be a closer game. I didn't touch this game. I think when I'm talking about like the dynamic nature of the Raiders, I think that the Raiders do scare me a lot. For an 0-3 team, they might be one of the better 0-3 teams. And how many 0-3 teams are there, by the way? There's not too many.
Chris, there's one.
Is that it? Like they're the only one? It's like
There's
what?
2 teams without a win in the league, but the other one is the Texans, who are
Texans who are
technically
tied.
0-2-1.
So I don't know, man. This game scares me a lot. I think the Broncos keep this one competitive and close. It's not going to be a pretty game by any means. I think the Broncos defense will keep a little bit of the big plays in check, but if they can do that, I think they have a chance. I'm not convinced that the Broncos can score a ton of points to
Listen to yourself. I just said that you're playing the only 0-3 team in football, and you're like, I think the Broncos can keep it close. Like, that's where you're at right now. Like, and I appreciate the honesty. Like,
I'm
and
a
you see the
realist.
Raiders are 2.5 point favorites here, so that's kind of embarrassing if you're a Broncos fan. Because the Raiders they've underachieved. Certainly, we thought they were going to be a better team coming into the season. But yeah, you're right, Chairman. He watched all 3 previous games. What else can he say? It's been rough out there, especially offensively. I don't think you said anything bold by saying the Raiders probably have a better offense right now, and the Broncos certainly have a better defense than the Raiders. I have a teaser as one of my bets of the week with the Broncos. I bumped them up 6 points to 8.5. They're part of a teaser for me. So I agree it'll be a close game because these teams, I don't see it being a high scoring game. I think both teams will struggle to score a little bit. But if I had to lean one way, I'd go Raiders. I really would, just because they need this game a ton. And they're 0-3. If they go to 0-4, it's game over. It's absolutely like 0-3 is already really, really tough. 0-4 is dunzo. Absolute dunzo. And the Broncos, let's be honest, are rather fortunate to be 2-1 right now, with the way their offense is played, especially in the last, really every week, but certainly the last 2 weeks. So it'll be, I think it'll be a fun and competitive game. Well, maybe not fun, but competitive, Chris.
I think, yeah, and realistically, I mean, I'm reading some of the chat here. We got, well, who was it? I think Mr. Boofus 2720 Raiders.
Oh, Football Wife said 3-2 Denver. So that's it. That's all we needed to hear, Chris. Congratulations.
It's all we need. She's got it. McDumbass is the white smoke that signals the new rebuild, says Cuban. This is maybe the worst coaching matchup as rookie coaches we've seen in a long time. I mean, Josh McDaniels, this was his coming out party.
It is a rookie coach with that team, but you're right.
It's his coming out party, and he's not. I mean, he already had a closed door meeting, talking about like the team and what they're gonna do moving forward. Man, I don't know. I think there's some problems going on in Las Vegas, but. You know, if you're taking this game, it's a neutral site. You got a 2-1 team versus an 0-3 team, and you're saying on a neutral site these two teams are even, which is kind of crazy from a 2-1 to an 0-3 team to say that, you know, it's that close.
Records are deceiving.
But I mean, the Broncos could easily have. I mean, let's just say the Broncos easily punch in 2 of those goal line carries off the Seattle game and they end up winning that. They could be 3-0, but they're the worst.
Don't do that, because they could have easily lost the other 2.
They could. It's true, but they could easily be.
They could easily be 0-3, Chris.
The Chiefs could be 3-0. You know, correct. Yeah, like they should have won that.
That's why let's not play that game. Let's not play that game. The record is what it is.
Records are deceiving, as a Steelers fan can confirm, says Reckoning.
I mean, records are definitely deceiving when you're talking about betting, but records are not deceiving on your place in the standings.
Bills should be 3-0, says Parker.
I thought he was a Cowboys fan, but he might be the largest Bills fan I've ever met in my life.
He could be, yeah.
Did you see, by the way, the clip this week of a Bills fan that jumped like off a elevated bridge street onto a table and fell incredibly short and was knocked out? Was not moving.
I'm sure he still made it in for the game.
I wanted to know if he was alive, Chris. This was the Bills fans are crazy, and I respect it and I love it. That was dumb. Someone should have been like, "Don't do this, dude. Don't do this. This is a large mistake." And instead, this kid like landed on his face, we're talking. He was like probably roughly 10-12 feet above the ground. Oof. On a swan dive further out, and he didn't make it, and he literally just face pavement. Not good.
Oof.
Moon Princess Leia, if I had to guess, a lot of alcohol was involved. I would hope so. If not, there's other issues at hand here.
Yeah. Next up, man, that sounds rough. I don't even want to. Bills fans, Moon Princess, honestly, that doesn't surprise me. Bills fans aren't the smartest. If I had to guess, a lot of alcohol is involved. Yeah, it might not be mental. See, maybe he should see a mental health professional. Yeah,
if not, and even with the alcohol, maybe he should see a mental health professional.
Next up, we have Jags and Eagles. Eagles are hosting the Jaguars here in this one. Eagles favored by 6.5. 47 is the over-under here. Now, Jalen Hurts is kind of the hero of the league. He's kind of coming out and just doing a little bit of everything. He's got the weapons around him. He's taking it full advantage. Meanwhile, we already talked to Trevor Lawrence about how well they're doing and how, everyone knows that they're, a solid team here. So we have a quality Jaguars team coming in to play in Philadelphia, and Scotty, this is going to be a good one, man.
Dare I say these are the 2 hottest teams in football right now? I mean,
it's kind of wild.
No, I don't think that's crazy to say when you're talking about the Jags and really the Jags should be 3-0 if we want to play that game, because they were a disaster in the red zone week 1 against Washington. They were way better than Washington that week. But these last 2 weeks, dominant. Eagles have been dominant every week through 3 weeks. You got a 6.5 point spread here. I would lean, and this could go anyway. Like the Jags could be overconfident and not ready to go. Like literally Trevor Lawrence's first road win was last week of his career. So now he's on the road again. Maybe they draw. They just don't play well this week, and another big one against the Eagles, and the Eagles dominate them. But to me, I don't see that because Doug Peterson obviously coming back to his last team, maybe a little revenge retribution game. I thought he got a bad deal with Philly after winning a Super Bowl, mind you, with Nick Foles as the quarterback, and they ousted him, and he was the guy to blame a couple years later. So this is a little revenge game for Doug Peterson. So I think the team, maybe Jacksonville, might play a little harder. If I had a lean, I would lean Jags plus 6.5. I think you're on the other side though, Chris.
I'm on the other side. Now, the Jags have impressed their first 3 games, right? So, especially like the defense has been kind of shining more than we would have expected. But, I think their quality rush defense could potentially maybe get Philly going. But the Eagles rank offense first in pass yards per play, which, Jalen Hurts is we came into the season asking, what is Jalen Hurts? What is he going to be? Is he the guy? He's starting to show that he is. They're also number 1 in defense pass per play. And the Eagles have great argument for being one of the better teams in the NFL, if not the best team in the NFL for 3 weeks. The Jags, brutal travel disadvantage in this week. Like, they're coming from a trip to from LA. And then they lost to the Commanders already, a team that Philly just manhandled. So impressive 2-week run, but I feel like this is where it runs out. I mean, I think the travel is kind of a big deal, going from LA to straight to Philadelphia and just being on the road. That takes a lot out of you too. With that being said, the defense, I talked a lot about this when I took the Eagles the other day. It was like week 2, I think I took them. And the 3 facets between, the defensive line, linebackers, and all the way down to the secondary, I feel like the Eagles have a lot of pieces that can really slow things down for the Jags. I think there's a lot of pieces that go into the play here, but I like the Eagles minus 6.5. I like them to win by at least a touchdown. This is one of my best bets of the week. I have the Eagles winning by 7 or more. So there you go.
One trend I'll say is Eagles are 3-0 against the spread this year. Historically, over the last 67 games where that's been a scenario with teams 3-0 in their first 3 weeks against the spread, they've gone 27-40 against the spread that following game. So hasn't been great results. Eventually the betting odds and the public catches up. I like the Eagles. I think they're great. I had them preseason in the NFC Championship game, Chris, which looks real good right now. But I don't know. The Jags, everyone's just like, they're still the Jags, and I'm not sure. I said before last week, remember, Chris, I said that Chargers-Jags game was a playoff preview. And everyone in the chat absolutely dogged me not about the Chargers, about the Jaguars, right? They were like, the Jags aren't making the playoffs. No, they're still trash. No way. And then they went out and won by 28 against the Chargers. So I think the Jags are... I still don't know how they're doing it defensively, but so much credit has to be given to their D coordinator. That's more of a surprise than the offensive side of the ball. But Trevor Lawrence is very, very sneaky good, Chris. And within a year, Trevor Lawrence will be a top 10 quarterback in this league.
I mean, we already had a lot of hype for him coming out of college, thinking he was going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. It took him a minute, took him a bad coach to get through that, but now he's got somebody that can really get the most out of him. Jags are so hot right now, says Boofus. Y'all see Hurts' long hair? It was fire. I didn't see that. I missed that.
I did not see the long hair.
Jags are smoking mirrors, says Chop. Hate to say it, Eagles.
Lawrence a bum.
I hate to hear it too, but I heard they are on fires. Deflate the neck. Oh, and we lost Scotty here. Give me a sec.
I'll drink to that.
That's an awkward. I'll drink to that. Scotty, you disconnected here for a second.
My face is gone.
Here, let me get you back here.
I literally didn't touch anything, Chris, so that would be hard for me to disconnect.
Let's go. Let me get Scotty back here. It's just kind of fitting that there was a perfect I'll drink to that as soon as Scotty went offline. Let me go ahead and reconnect with Scotty here and see what ended up happening. Give me 1 second. But yeah,
I said Lawrence will be a top 10 QB in the very near future, and I'll stand by that.
Standing by it. So Scott, we still got Scotty's audio. We just need his video. Give me 1 second.
I literally didn't touch anything. There I am.
Oh, there you go. There we go. We got him back. Give us 1 second while we get connected again.
Everyone's a little too excited for me to be disconnected, Chris.
Everyone's like, oh man, this is the best thing that ever happened.
It's a little hurtful, guys. Even I have feelings a little bit.
Let's see.
Chairman, I bet Rachel wouldn't have disconnected. She wouldn't have connected in the... No. I gotta stop myself.
Still here.
I'll call her, guys, right now. She might be tired, but she'd love to dive into these football games.
By the way, football wife's bedtime is 12 a.m. LOL. Yeah.
Just gonna tell her in a text real quick that everyone prefers you to me.
Rachel would never have done that, says JK. Scotty, please don't take it personally. I live for technical difficulties on air. Just ask G Girl. Yeah, no, there you go. Damn, Scotty's back, says Joker.
Good to see you all too. Well, I actually don't see you guys, and that's even better. All right, don't have to see your faces.
Just hey,
I'm gonna be a vengeful Scotty.
Yeah, you'll be coming
hateful.
in hot, Scotty. You're getting fired up for the end. This is what you're doing. All right, Scotty. Look at this dude.
Look at this dude.
Scotty, we have another game here. Your boys. We got the Chiefs and the Bucks. Got a matchup of Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes in Tampa. Well, we don't know if it's in Tampa. They're moving this game based off of the hurricane, which we think that's happening. It hasn't officially been, at least from when we started the stream, hasn't been confirmed. But this will be a neutral game. The spread was already won on this one, I believe. But I think as a neutral game goes, I think the Chiefs should end up getting favored in this one eventually. So, Chiefs, Bucks, what do you like about your boys in this one? What are you worried about? Let's get it.
I mean, I think this is going to be a low scoring. Listen, the one thing about the Bucks, I think the Chiefs have been.
Oh, we lost you again. Hold on.
The Bucks offensively have been a disaster. Am I gone again?
Gone again. What's going on?
What is happening?
Let's see. I don't know. It's weird. Let me get Scotty back again. Here we go.
It keeps cutting off my camera. All right, I'm just gonna leave that there. Never mind. I'm just gonna leave that right there. This is, guys. Can we be not? No, I'm just kidding. I don't care for you guys. You're all the worst, and I hate. No, I'm just kidding. No, get into this game. I think the Chiefs. So, Chairman, you said that you're surprised about the -1. In what direction? Because this game actually was earlier in the week. It was like -2, -2.5 to the Chiefs. It's moved to -1 despite the possibility this game might be played on neutral in Minneapolis. And I'd actually argue it would be less. I think there'd be more Chiefs fans at a game in Minneapolis than we are than Bucks fans there. But the Bucks are gonna get some weapons back. It sounds like maybe Julio Jones will be back. You know, Mike Evans coming off the suspension from last week will obviously be back. Godwin potentially could be back. Chairman's like, I wouldn't have been surprised to see KC -6. I don't think KC's offense is gonna score a ton of points against this Tampa Bay defense. I really, really think it's close. My one also reason though that I like the Chiefs a little more is like the Bucks are enduring this hurricane, even if they're practicing in Miami and they're not there for that. I'm sure they have family members. They have a livelihood. They have a home that's enduring this hurricane where maybe they're not fully focused on that game. unfortunately. I don't want to say that, but that's just a reality of being a human being. Like, if your family's caught up and your home's caught up in a massive hurricane, maybe your focus isn't on that game that week, even though this is a big one between Super Bowl opponents a couple years ago. So we'll see. It's going to be Sunday night. We'll be streaming during this game. Maybe Chris Jones won't get flagged for the first ever saying mean words penalty we've ever seen in the history of football. Which the NFL has still not come out and said what he said. So, like, how do you know where the line is? And they haven't even told the Chiefs. Andy Reid in a press conference today was like, the NFL, he hasn't even told us what he said, which is just, I don't know. I feel like if you get flagged for a penalty using your words, maybe the NFL should explain to you, all right, these are the words you use, so don't use that again. Right? And that should be league-wide. Everyone in the league should be like, all right, if you say something like this along these lines, that's too far, because that never happens. But whatever. That's why I showed Chris Jones, and I also showed Tom Brady yelling, because I'm sure he's gotten away with a lot more in his career, Chris. But I think this will be a low. I mean, 45 as an over-under with Chiefs Bucks is almost shockingly low, and I think it still goes the under.
Yeah, I think this is a super low scoring game. This was actually one of my best bets, and I took it off, knowing that I just didn't want to bet it, knowing there was going to be some volatility with moving the venue, and then I wanted to see where the lines landed. I wanted to see what the over under landed, because there was too much up in the air. I do agree with you that Tampa Bay, there's a lot of more variables for them to worry about than there is for the Kansas City Chiefs in this one. So I'm with you. Similar to like the whole Philadelphia thing, where it's just the circumstances of like the setup of this game. Like there's a lot of traveling for Jacksonville from the West Coast to the East Coast. There's a lot happening. Same thing here for Tampa Bay. You're taking away a home game. You're giving them potentially just a neutral field that they're probably not going to be the home advantage on, and they got all these things going on in their heads. I think I lean Chiefs in this one, but I mean the over under 45, I like the under in this one. I think if I'm leaning anything, the under 45 points scored total. So yeah, all right, well, next,
a lot of people talking about it. Chairman mentions the Lions got penalized for moving hips this weekend on a TD celebration. Did you see that hip movement though?
Those hips don't lie.
And the old lineman literally like shined a light on it. He's like, "Look at it!" And he's pointing. I mean, it was. Good for Jamal Williams. I prefer they give the ball to someone else near the end zone, but yeah, good for him. But I agree that shouldn't be flagged either. Actually, stop throwing flags on celebrations.
Stop throwing flags.
Talking.
No fun
talking.
League. No fun league.
There's language on every single play, so don't tell me you're gonna all of a sudden throw a penalty for language at some point.
Reckoning says Swift is likely done for 2 weeks.
I mean, that's a weird way to say it. Swift is likely done. ... for 2 weeks. Maybe out for 2 weeks. He's not done. There's a lot of weeks left.
Even Elvis thought that was too much hip, says Cuban.
I mean, it was a lot of hip. Good for him.
Roger.
Not introducing him to Rachel. That's for sure.
You'd be done, my friend.
Yeah.
The beard, everything else combined, you'd be done. Out the door. All right, here we go. Rams and 49ers. This is an interesting one because the 49ers, given the fact that they were not looking very good against Denver, Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't think everyone, and including myself, I was like, man, they're a better team with Jimmy. And yet I'm walking my steps back and being like, maybe he's not quite it. But it's still, the Los Angeles Rams are underdogs going to San Francisco by 1.5 points. So this one's interesting to me. I honestly think that the Rams currently, especially with the injuries along the offensive line, you had what's his name? One of the Trent Williams go down last week, which I think is a massive downgrade for their offensive line. That's huge. I mean, that's a big factor in this one. The Rams defense is, I mean, we're looking at Aaron Donald, who is stand up, one of the best defensive players in the entire NFL that can take advantage of these matchups against, some bad injuries for the 49ers. So I think Jimmy G's going to be running for his life in this one. The Rams and 49ers is a division matchup. I think this is going to be a closer matchup than I would expect with anybody else, but I still think the Rams come out on top if I were to lean this one. I almost teased this one and I left it alone, but I think you have some action on this. Exactly what I was going to do. I just didn't pull the trigger on it.
Yeah. Everyone in the chat's shocked that the Niners are favored.
Yeah.
Which actually makes me want to bet on the Niners, ironically, even with my teaser, which is on the Rams here. So I think what people are missing in all this is the Rams have been sneaky, not so good. I know they're 2-1. They got blown out, obviously, week 1 against Buffalo. They won a game against Atlanta that they didn't look great, and they really didn't look good against an Arizona team that, are we sure Arizona's any good? Like, take away the crazy comeback against the Raiders, they'd be winless. I'm not sure Arizona's that good. The Rams have been sloppy offensively, especially. I don't know if I trust that offense. I know they're the defending Super Bowl champs. So saying all of that, I do have the Rams in a teaser. I don't think the 49ers offense is going to do enough to put this game away for by a wide margin. So thank you, G-Girl, so much.
Thank you so much.
A sub to TN Plumber.
TN Plumber, let's go. Thank you so much, G-Girl, for
Jimmy. She called it out for Jimmy.
Hey, this one's for Jimmy. My man.
Yeah, there's a reason I have Aaron Donald and Nick Bosa in this preview, because I don't feel like the offenses of either of these teams are deserving of a photo on our preview. So I think it'll be a rather low-scoring game, competitive game. So that's why I'm going to bump it up to give me Rams in a teaser plus 7.5. So they just don't lose by more than a touchdown, Rams. Do me a favor.
Yeah. This one, I 49ers are like,
well, let's be nice. Yeah. Let's be nice.
Say something nice about Jimmy G. That's a good looking man.
Man, everyone saying that there's no way the Rams lose this game makes me want to bet the Niners so hard, Chris. So hard.
And my wonder...
No, not that I don't trust your guys' opinion. It's just Vegas knows better. They know better.
I'm just curious I said this last week, and I was like, all right, so Jimmy G comes in. He didn't have a lot of time in the preseason that he was like with the team. He was off on his own, throwing the ball to like trainers because he was going to get traded. Then, he gets thrown in, in the first half of a game before the Broncos. I can't remember who they played week 2. It's already been forever.
The Niners?
Yeah.
Blew out the Seahawks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, he came in and it was like, all right, maybe he's got a rhythm, but I feel like there's still some rust that he's got to get out. And I thought maybe there was some rust for the Broncos. Maybe he gets a little bit more, on track as the season goes on. I think the Niners are still a very talented team. I think Trent Williams going down is a big one. I just, if they can stay healthy, I think the Niners have one of the more talented rosters. But I mean, I don't know.
Niners could have easily beat the Rams in the NFC Championship game. Everyone's acting like the Niners are trash because they had to watch that Sunday Night Football game with us, Chris. And I get it. I get how your emotions feel after having to watch that, because it was painful for all of us.
We got messages.
We should have a support group just based off of that game, Chris, alone. But we gotta move past it. We, as a group, we gotta move on and realize it was just one game. Russell's still trash. By the way, Chris, did you see? This is way off topic, but speaking of Russell Wilson, real quick, I had the greatest comparison of all time today to Russell Wilson. Did you see Bryson DeChambeau? Obviously, we showed his clip of the rope situation last week on our stream. He filmed a whole big stream where he was fighting the rope, and then he ducked under the rope, and all of these guys around him went nuts and they were going crazy, and he beat the rope, right?
No.
He is The Russell Wilson of golf.
Oh,
or
no.
Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson and Bryson DeChambeau are the same person. They're the cheesiest motherfuckers out there, Chris. They're so lame and so cheesy and so embarrassing, but they're the same person.
I'm trying to find a way to discredit that comparison. I'm having trouble.
Chairman, speaking of Russell Wilson, thanks. Now I need to go find something to eat. Well, he gets hungry. And did you see everything out there that's like his dangerous sub or whatever it was?
Let's be nice.
He's like, oh, have you ever done something dangerous? He sounds like a serial killer during that, Chris.
Say something nice about Russell Wilson, says Reckoning.
He married Sierra.
Oh no!
It's a trap.
Well done.
No.
Well done.
I will say that Russell Wilson's not done. He's got some left in the tank. He's just ramping up. Real quick, I want to know what was happening in the chat a little bit ago because we had some messages deleted.
There was a lot of
because there was like Devil Doc was saying I need to spray down Gigi and Football Wife talking about some of the Jimmy G and
they were getting a little too sexual. We've kept it PG. We were just talking about massive things and things like that. We kept it okay.
Massive.
They were getting inappropriate. I mean, unbelievably inappropriate. Come on, guys, be better.
I mean, all of a sudden I thought we were getting a little. We're getting a little. Come on, man. We're getting a little racy in the chat.
I can feel it all the way down in my plum.
Yeah, it's getting spicy in the chat with some. All of a sudden, Jimmy. Should we just have a graphic of Jimmy G from here on out? Woo!
Or were they mad that I didn't have Jimmy G in this clip? That I put Nick Bosa instead?
I mean, we have a lot of women in our chat, and Devil Doc is saying, Nick
Bosa looks like he's blowing a kiss, guys. What about him? Is he? How do we feel about Nick Bosa? I don't know.
G Girl offered to help at mod if you need. Hey, we'll always take if you want. I mean,
but who's modding you?
This chat may need an adult warning label. Yeah.
I don't know how we put that in, Chris. That's your job.
All right. Next up, we have the Vikings and the Saints across the pond. We have an early. By the way, guys, if you need to set your lineups early, set your lineups early if you have Saints and Vikings players in your fantasy league. And also, if you're making your picks, don't think it's just completely safe because this is an early one. This one's starting, I think, 9 a.m. or something? At least Mountain
Eastern.
Time.
No, it's like 7:30.
7:30 Mountain Time. So this is super,
or something like that. Super
early. Make sure you get all your picks in, all your lineups set before, because this will throw people off. This does it every single year. Now, the interesting thing on this one, Scotty, is does this count as a primetime game for Kirk Cousins? Because he has his routines, right? If he can't get in his routines on a morning or afternoon game, if it's a Sunday night football, Monday night football, Thursday night football, you got primetime Kirk Cousins. He's not the same. This will throw off his routines going across the pond, gearing up for, a game in Europe. This might not be the most exciting game. Historically, we always send over teams that just absolutely snooze fest, kind of like G Girl is snoozing right now. And it's just not a good product. And I anticipate this game to be kind of ugly, knowing that this kind of, for me, counts like a Kirk Cousins primetime game. And the Saints offense is just not great. And their defense is decent. They can maybe hold the Vikings down. 43.5 is the over-under for this combined points. I think this might be an ugly one.
No, I go the other way, Chris.
Really?
I don't think this is a primetime game. This is the opposite. People see 7:30 and they panic. They're like, I can't bet on Kirk. But I mean, Kirk and 7:30 a.m. games might be elite of the elite, Chris. Like if it's the earlier it is, the better he is. And then there's the whole, I don't know if you've heard this situation, Chris, but you know the whole where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Yeah.
Where in the world is Jameis Winston? He wasn't at practice today.
What?
Did he miss the plane to London? It doesn't sound like Jameis Winston, he might not play this week.
Are you serious?
Like he wasn't at practice. He was, I'm 100% serious. He was MIA. He was out. I don't know where that goes from here, but it's not good for the Saints, who have looked really, really bad, even with Winston the last couple weeks. Part of me thinks Winston got the times mixed up on when the flight was to London. Like I could see that. I could see that with Jameis.
The last report I saw was this morning, and they say he's plans to play Sunday after getting a day off in London to rest injuries.
I heard this was
Potato Scotty. We got Potato Scotty. Hold on. Take a screenshot of that. Uh-oh. Here, hold on. Let me I don't want to embarrass him. I don't. Hold on. We'll get him back. Man, Scotty's living in the potato world tonight. He is just Give me 1 second while we get Scotty back. Hey. He was getting onto a good point there. He was fired up, he was excited, and I think he was so excited that he just glitched out his internet. But either that or his computer completely shut off. But he was talking about that he heard something that he potentially may have missed out on this trip. But either way, New Orleans, Jameis Winston says he plans to play. It sounds like they're going to play him. But even then, I don't have a lot of confidence that Jameis is the answer there. Hey, Chris, do you do this via VOD or Discord? So we've always historically done it for Discord, but we've always kind of thought about changing the way we do it. We might change the way we do things moving forward, but there's a couple reasons we use Discord, and there's a couple benefits to the Discord, but it's not always there's upsides and downsides to each one. So that's kind of like the weird part about it. But let me see if I can get Scotty back, or maybe Rachel's just disconnecting things. She's like, hey, you know what? Stop talking trash, and I won't be disconnecting you all the time. She's snipping that. Epitome of stability. It's the beard. Yeah. Give me a second. Let me see. Let me just completely disconnect from Scott here and see if I can get him back. What's strange is we haven't had any issues up until tonight, which is kind of crazy. So but what do you guys think about this one in England? What do you think? You got Vikings, Saints. I like the Vikings. If I'm leaning one way or another, I like the Vikings in this one, but it's not like a home run for me. It's not a home run for me. I like the Vikings, but that's I'm not going to bet it by any means. So let's go ahead and we'll get to the next one here. Commanders and Cowboys. So this is going to be one of my best bets of the week. I'm kind of leaning towards Vikings as well, but not like a huge amount, says Moon Princess. Fair enough. Both teams looked bad. I'm not touching this game. Maybe a field goal win. Oh, there we go. All right. I think we got Scotty back.
It's exhausting to know what's going on with my computer tonight.
Hey, we're back though. We got you.
All my monitors just went completely black. I was not prepared for it.
You were making a point actually about Jameis Winston though before you got.
Well, even if he does play, is it a big deal? Maybe not, because he's been absolutely awful the last couple weeks. But GoFundMe for Scotty's new PC. Yeah, this is actually a work PC, so maybe Rocky's step it up a little bit.
I know.
This actually is. I got a new laptop within the last like 6 months, so this shouldn't be happening, right?
Yeah. Sounds like possibly a display driver timeout issue. That's too complex for
That's what I was thinking. That was my initial thought.
Roger.
Yeah,
For sure.
I feel like that's exactly what it was.
I can feel it all the way down in my
So there is an update that I'm supposed to install. However, I've been told I can't install it because it will not allow me to get into our ticketing system software that we run through Ticketmaster, which would be a big problem for me.
The Rockies can pay the Cards $50 million to get rid of a player, but they can't buy Scotty a decent computer.
Hey, it's I don't even know what I have. What is it? It's a ThinkPad? What brand is that?
Rachel's in the other room with an unplugged cord in her hand, laughing each and every single time. She's just she's turning off the router every 5 seconds.
Well, joke's on her because she wouldn't know how to do that. And two, it's in the room I'm in, Chris, so she can't be doing that. I did say everyone. I texted her. I said everyone on stream prefers you over me. She said, "Haha, no way, Scotty A all the way." So, fun fact: she calls me Scotty A as well, guys. Nah, that's not true. That's not true.
We need a sub goal to get Scotty a dedicated streaming laptop. That's 100%.
Or a background, as Jiro says.
All right? Can we get a poll in the chat? What's more important? Something for Scotty's background or a dedicated laptop for streaming? Which one? That's a hell of a poll.
I just don't want to take away from my face, Chris. If there's stuff behind me, you don't see me, you know? And this face and this beard, more importantly, is important to see.
What's more important for Scotty? There it is. We got to pull up a streaming laptop or a background. Ooh, the background is off to a streaming start there. Oh,
a streaming start?
A screaming.
I'm going to do laptop. I'm going to vote, Chris.
There you go.
That one vote for laptop is me right now. So it's no big deal.
There we go. Hey, let's keep voting in the chat. Like, let's see what we can get, Scotty. And then we'll do a sub goal for it. I know that, streamers are always asking. I've seen
I would appreciate more so like ideas more than I could put stuff back there, but I need ideas. I'm not creative like that. I'm not like an interior designer.
I'll send Scotty some TJ Watt jerseys for his background.
But he's out more than my computer.
bruh.
Hey yo. Just kidding.
And then we got. Can we add Civil War general uniform to the polling option? Says. Here we go.
Bitties for Scotty's new PC.
Yeah,
Chris, those are only allowed to be used for my new computer.
I mean, let's
just start a GoFundMe.
We have a GoFundMe. We have bits. All of a sudden this has turned into a donation stream, a charity stream for Scotty's new laptop. There we go. Wreck
and Devil are now conspiring to ban me from my own stream.
Oh my goodness!
Unbelievable. Hey,
all right.
Still asking for the friend, by the way, Chris. How I can be an admin in our Discord? That'd be a nice feature. Unbelievable. I'm still not an admin in our Discord, Chris.
I thought you were an admin. Maybe I'll.
No, I'm not. That's what. Did you not see when I posted? I'm like, how does one become an admin? Asking for a friend. I was asking for me, Chris. That's the code. When you say asking for a friend, that means you're asking for yourself. I don't know if you're on that train yet. But
nope, not on that train. Not on that train. He's out more than my laptop. Scotty, put your favorite teams in your background. Ask Santa for a new one. But yeah, we'll see what the poll ends up. Keep voting, guys. 9 for the background, 3 for the streaming laptop. There you go.
I mean, to be fair, the laptop's been fine before tonight.
Next up, we got the Commanders visiting the Cowboys in this one. Now, the Cowboys, obviously, Cooper Rush is somehow making it work here. And, obviously, Cooper Rush is not what we expected him to be. The Cowboys aren't what we expected them to be without Dak Prescott. But here we are. We're talking about the Cowboys, and they're coming in, taking on a Washington team that is not good at all. So I've actually been impressed and shocked about how the Cowboys have been able to pull off these games with Cooper Rush at quarterback. They truck along 6.4 yards per play on Monday against the Giants defense that had been playing pretty well. Their defense obviously is something that's been, we talk about Parsons. They were showing graphics on this last game of him lining up in like every position on the field, and he's still being effective. Washington offense has been absolutely brutal the last 2 weeks. I don't know how it has success here, like with the defense of the Cowboys getting pressure on Carson Wentz and everything else. Their defense, Washington's defense, is 28th in yards per play and facing a Cowboys offense that kept Rush clean on Monday. Their offensive line, we talked about not being as good coming into the season. They've been managed. They've been good. They've been fine. So I make this line like 5 from what I've seen and various experts. This is why Dallas is my best bet of the week. They easily, I think, can get this win by at least 3 or more. I think they win this game by at least a touchdown, at least. Scotty, I'm big on Dallas this week, which is hard for me to say that about a Cooper Rush-led team, but I'm on the Cowboys.
Yeah, I would probably lean that way too. It was at 3 actually earlier in the week. I would have pulled the trigger maybe more so on that. Just
I think I got it
get the push out of that. But at 3.5, I'd still bet the Cowboys. But it's not one of my picks of the week. I mean, it's weird to say. I mean, I was on here saying Cooper Rush was going to be an absolute disaster. Now Dak's talking about he got his stitches out. He wants to come back next. We'll see. I don't really think he's going to be back even next week. It'll be more time. But Gallup potentially is either this week or next week, getting one of their elite wideouts back to go with CeeDee Lamb. I don't see Washington. There was at one point. Did you see the stat last week against Philly? Like Philly had like 323 yards passing, and Washington had -1 in the game at one point last week. Like,
bad.
This Washington team is just not it. So this is a mismatch. I think the defense of the Cowboys absolutely dominates the Washington team, and Carson Wentz, who doesn't handle pressure well. And this might be right now the best pass rush in football when you're talking about Dallas's front. And Micah Parsons is right now the defensive player of the year, as I predicted prior to the season. You can all call me great now. My wife didn't predict it, so I'm pretty good too. But I'm a little nervous because everyone seems to be on the Cowboys, which makes me a little nervous in this one. But Cowboys should get a win here nonetheless. And yeah, weirdly moved to 3-1, which I did not see happening after they lost Dak week 1.
Cooper Rush will retire undefeated. I keep telling you this as casually. Cowboys are still losers, says Joker, not believers. Their defense is great, says G Girl. Danny Dimes was pressured greatly into Marcus Lawrence.
Tank's nice. I mean, I think Dan Quinn's been an absolute home run defensive coordinator for them the last season and in this season as well. I don't know. I mean, he's probably underrated a little bit as a head coach as well, but as a defensive coordinator, he's great. He's absolutely phenomenal.
Danny Dimes didn't get a chance. O-line needs to help him out. From the plays I saw, didn't see the whole game. No, I don't want to go to bed. Don't go to bed. Don't go to bed, football wife.
What? They're pressuring football wife to go to bed. She wants to hang out. She's an adult. Let her stay. Okay.
Wentz is going to get cooked and squashed. Yeah, I think, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Carson Wentz. Did you call Gallup elite? Says Pork Chop.
No, I didn't call Gallup elite. I just said he's going to add. He's certainly the number 2 wide out there. And right now they don't even have Dalton Schultz. So adding a piece like him is going to help a lot. Noah Brown's been nice, but he's more of a slot guy. And CeeDee Lamb's been, quite frankly, a little inconsistent.
At Devil Dog.
Gallup does not suck, R.S. Parker, and you're a Cowboys fan. You're so wrong. Gallup does not suck at all. Not even close.
Bruh.
From a Cowboys fan, and he's like, no, man, I'm good. I'm good on Gallup. No thanks. Reckoning, when it's bedtime, timeout football wife until the end of the stream. Make her sleep. What a bunch of meanie. Yeah, see, don't listen to them, football wife. You stay up. You do your thing. She needs to sleep so she'll be wide awake to see Miami win tomorrow. Man, hey, football wife.
Nah,
let him
football
have
wife, join us tomorrow and let's bask in the glorious domination that the Bengals will have over the Dolphins tomorrow. I promise. I promise.
No.
It's gonna happen.
So yeah, we're I think both of us, if we had a pick here, it would be Cowboys.
I'm close to banning Rec right now. Do I have that authority, Chris?
She's my wife.
It's my quarterback.
You don't talk to football wife that way, Rec.
It's my quarterback. So there you go. That's what we have here with all of our bets. So by the way, we're talking about that. We will be live tomorrow for Dolphins Bengals. We keep throwing that out there. That's our big announcement that we announced early on in the stream. So make sure you are here tomorrow. I know football wife will be here cheering on her boys. Joe will be here throwing and slinging the ball around the field to all those amazing wide receivers. And I think, the Bengals, if I were to make, a prediction, I think the Bengals do come out. I think the Dolphins, there's too much going on with them. So join us tomorrow night. We will be live at 9 o'clock Eastern here in the Action Lab. There's a potential chance. I think there's a really, really good chance we will be on the front page. So we might have a influx of new people joining in. We want you guys to be ambassadors for everybody here at the Action Lab and welcome in everybody. Make sure everyone's having a good time. So we're super excited. We can't wait for it, and we will see how the game turns out. But we're gonna be playing bingo, Scotty. We're gonna get some bingos tomorrow. We're going to.
Yeah. We're just gonna set the over under on Russ isn't playing, so we can set it a little higher. But chairman of the board wants a hot tub stream. I'm going to leave out the fact that he's saying G-Girl and football wife. I think he wants us in a hot tub stream.
Is that
that's going to have to be a lot of subs.
That's a lot of subs
to get us on a hot tub stream.
That would probably be at least a 50 subber.
Ooh, Rec made a good point, but we weren't prepared, Rec. We didn't know until today.
We're kind of
late today that we were going to be on stream tomorrow. We got told today that we could be on the front page, so it was last second. So we're not going to do the fantasy thing. We're going to do bingo. We're going to do bingo.
Oh no! What is that?
Football wife. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, football wife, for all the gifted.
Blessed.
Oh my goodness, 5 gifted from football wife to destroy on site.
I think those are gifted subs to try and get us in the hot tub stream, Chris.
I mean, she wants the hot tub. I mean,
she wants the tub. She wants the tub, and she wants to see that my face tattooed on your body, Chris.
That's a 50. We said it was 50, so she's gonna need some help. She's gonna need a lot of help. There's no way we're gonna have her do all 50. We have 45 left for us to even make that a reality. So I don't even know how. We don't even know any. Do you know anyone at the hot tub that we could do this in if we get there?
No.
I might know one person with a hot tub, but we would figure it out. I
know, like a buddy has one up in Winter Park.
You know,
but I'm not going all the way up there.
You know, the other issue is electronics near water.
Yeah, mine don't work great away from water, apparently.
So we would need to figure that out. Maybe it's a bathtub stream and we just do it out of a bathtub.
Is that better?
I don't know.
It's still water, Chris. Water is water.
We might need to do a mature rating on that stream if we get there.
Rec is like too middle-aged. We're not middle-aged. Right? Not yet. When do you get to middle age?
All right,
at what age?
Who's banning Rec right now?
Yeah, I mean, someone
banned
who's a mod.
Rec. Calling us middle-aged?
No. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, not middle-aged yet. Got a lot of years left.
I mean, Scotty's got the beard and I got the grays, but we're not even close.
No.
Oh my goodness.
No midlife crisis here. All right. We're just going to be looking fly on a stream in a hot tub. All right.
All right. We'll just
maybe I'll pull up in my Corvette, top down.
Top 10. Let me update the sub count here. I think we are at, what was that, 5? And then we had a couple extra. So what is that? 6, I think 13. There we go. I think that's where we're at.
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that. All right, so let's get to our best bets. So Scotty, we're kind of mediocre here over the course of the season. This has gone off the rails. Yes.
I don't even know who this Amaranth is. Should I know who that is?
Let's just say if you were to go to her, we're not rating her anytime soon, but she's
hot tub streamer.
She's
okay.
a very well-known hot tub streamer.
Okay.
That's she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing.
She better look out. We might take that whole industry over.
But see, the thing is when we do the hot tub stream, you guys got to make sure you know where we're at. We won't be streaming in the sports category anymore. We will be in a completely new world of the hot tub, pools, and beach category, which is a new territory for us, Scotty. We're not used to that.
Well, I could dive in. I'd be like, I don't know, like Will Ferrell on SNL in the hot tub. I don't know if you ever saw that clip I'm thinking of. But,
with Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon was in there with Amy Poehler, I think. That's a good one.
Rachel
Check
Dratch,
that out.
yeah.
Rachel Dratch, you're right. It was not Amy Poehler. It was Rachel Dratch.
That was
right.
And Drew Barrymore. That was a classic too. They were it's so good.
I would literally talk in that tone the whole stream if I was in the hot tub.
Guys, now I'm getting hyped for this hot tub stream. Maybe we need to make this happen. Maybe this needs to. Now we're getting to, we just got to get some more help. Amaranth 2.0. By the way, she does like ASMR stuff too, which is weird. I don't know. She does all sorts of weird stuff.
I'm still trying to figure out what that is. I know, but I don't know.
ASMR?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just like
you explained it to me once before. That's the only reason I know. But I don't remember.
G Girl goes to sleep with some ASMR. But it's just like they have these special microphones and people, they like whisper and they do like tapping and like they do like weird sounds into the microphone, and it's like super weird. I mean,
and why do people watch this?
It's supposed to give you.
I'm not judging. I'm just curious.
It's supposed
like
to
genuine curiosity.
Like give you like this euphoria, goosebumpy feeling of like. I don't know. I've never gotten that, but I know people like. I mean, ear licking. Yeah, ear licking.
Are they ear licking like?
It's like
Are they ear licking like through the screen, or are they just ear? Who's licking whose ear?
There's the microphone ears and stuff that they slather on like peanut butter and like weird stuff, and they make the gooey sounds.
I don't think we're going to be able to talk about this tomorrow on the front page, Chris. I think this is not allowed on the front page of Twitch, I would imagine.
Moon Princess like
Sports
that.
guys, focus.
The Moon Princess like, that's enough for me. Bedtime. I have a great night, everyone. Catch y'all tomorrow night. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get back into this.
Good night, Moon Princess. Sports guys, focus. Yeah, Deacle is always keeping us on track. Who's licking whose ear?
I don't understand a fake ear that someone's licking. That's weird. I don't understand.
Hold on.
Most of what happens these days.
Scotty, after this show, go YouTube ASMR, and you will understand what it is. And football has got fit. We got to get to coming in hot here soon. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at these picks of the week. I already talked about. So my picks: Philly -6.5, Dallas -3.5. We didn't talk about Arizona. So let me talk about Arizona real quick. Now, Arizona is playing in a game that I just think it just lines up to be in their favor here. They're playing Carolina, and they're getting 1.5. I think the wrong team is favored in this one. Panthers are trending up after scoring their first win last week. Came against the limited Saints offense. Quarterback playing hurt. Passing attack. For Carolina, can thank the Bears for not being the worst in the league. So there's that. The Cardinals offense looks much less than the sum of its parts. Kyler Murray, he can create plays. I think that, he wants to win. It feels like he's calling out his team. hopefully that's a positive thing. I would hope. But the look ahead at the end of last week, there was Arizona minus 2.5, and all of a sudden it's plus 1.5, and I'm like, what happened? And so I don't know. I think the Cardinals should be favored here. I don't trust the Carolina offense when it comes down to Baker Mayfield and what they've been able to do. I just feel like they've been sputtering and they've been kind of just getting by. And I just think the Arizona Cardinals are just going to be a better team in this one. So I got Arizona. The other game I have here is going to be the Cleveland Browns. Now, I don't typically like rooting for the Cleveland Browns based off of all the offseason stuff, but the Cleveland Browns playing Atlanta. Atlanta's been getting a lot of hype coming out, with a lot of scoring. They finally were able to put away and get their first win of the year, but it was against a Seattle team that was likely one of the worst in the league. So, that's a little bit of a benefit here. Falcons defense was terrible that game, allowing 6.1 yards per play to Geno Smith. Atlanta might be, frisky. They're good on offense, man. They'll be fine, but I just don't think. I think the Browns defense will kind of hold them in check a little bit, and also Jacoby Brissett. Let's not just overthink him too much. He's a decent quarterback. He's been able to keep the Browns in the mix. And he's a good quarterback. He can hold over. He's fine. He can manage games. We saw this when he was in New England. We saw this, everywhere he's been. He's been able to manage games. The defenses look solid for the Browns against the run so far. And even if it's the Falcons offense, I think they still, can move the ball a little bit. I like the Browns here. I think they could get this. This is one of my other best bets of the week. Scotty.
Yeah, I don't know where you're coming with Brissett there, but sure. I'm kind of on board with you. I have, with Arizona at least. Arizona, I have in a teaser +8, up to +8 on a 6-point teaser. I guess I got it at 2, but I think Arizona is going to keep it at least close against the Carolina team that has been probably the second worst offense in the NFL through 3 weeks of the season. Laviska Shenault is their number 2 wide receiver with 90 receiving yards, and he wasn't there weeks 1 or 2. And he had a 67-yarder last week. That's why he has 90 yards. Everything they've gotten is a deep play, and if it doesn't work out, they're an absolute disaster. Already talked about Cincy. I'm on the opposite end of Atlanta, by the way. I have Atlanta, at least in a teaser, +7.5. I think they keep it close. They've kept every game close. Won against Seattle, kept it close against the Rams, almost won against the Rams, and should have won week 1 as well before blowing a huge lead in the fourth quarter to the Saints. So I think they keep that one at least close, even if they do lose. It's within a touchdown. Tennessee, +3.5 against the Colts. I think this should be closer to a pick 'em. I don't think the Colts, neither of these teams am I very high on, but there's no way either team should be favored by more than 2.5 points in this game. These teams are pretty even. The Colts, I know they beat my Chiefs last week, but I promise you their offense is not very good. It's struggling right now. Didn't look good in that game. The Chiefs handed that game away. I promise you. So I like Tennessee +3.5. And then another teaser. I talked about the Rams +8, and I talked about Denver +8.5. Just keeping those games close.
Yep. Yeah, I think I'm kind of with you on the Tennessee. That was one that I was looking at, and I never really felt one way or another on it to make a pick on it, but I just kind of left it alone. So, So with that being said, let's see if we can improve on last week. And I'm trying to go back-to-back undefeated weeks, 4-0 weeks. So we'll see what ends up happening here. If we go, there's a realm of possibility where we could go perfect this week, both of us.
Well, that's true every week, Chris.
Well, now
there's a realm of possibility.
Not when we go head to head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're not going head to head on anything this week. So we're going to go 8-0.
We have some of those that have to fit into a window, like Atlanta, Cleveland has to fit into a nice little tidy. Cleveland has to cover 1.5, but lose or win by less than 8. They can do that.
Yep. I think it's doable.
Or 7.5, whatever that is.
All right, perfect. So let me see real quick. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our entries. We are going to pull up our pick'em to make sure that, let me give one little pull here. Let me pull this up, and we are going to look at our pick'em groups. So here we are. This is our pick'ems. So let's take a look at these. Obviously, Football Wife is running the show here at the very top. And these are the rankings here. G-Girl coming in number 3, Moon Princess number 2. Look at this. Scotty number 3, tied with G-Girl.
Let down. I didn't have the Giants, did I? I must have the Giants because I didn't look after Monday night. I must have the Giants, which is bizarre. I don't know why I would have taken them.
Devil Doc and is tied with me at 8. Then we have a nice little a couple roadblocks here, 10 and 15, where we have a lot of logjam going in. I'm still in the Survivor, says Milwaukee's. Yeah, we could take a look at the Survivor here. Actually, no, it's weird. The Survivor doesn't give you like a ranking.
There's only 7 left.
There's only 7 left, so we'll keep
we
you
have
posted
like
on
25 or so to start. There's 7 of us left. I'm still in there, Milwaukee, with you. Look at Casually Average living up to his name and just being absolutely average at picking games.
There you go.
Good for him.
Boss Hog, there you got Chairman. Look at all you guys here with all your picks. So and let me see if I could like squeeze this in a little bit more. So
off balls. G-Girl enjoys that one. She also asks, Scotty, the beer goes you till when? If you're asking how long the beer goes, it's supposed to be through October. So another month ahead.
Yeah. Still plenty of time for Rachel to have that much more love for the beard.
Yeah.
So here you go. These are the rankings that we are currently at for our pick 'em. Make sure you make your picks again before the end of by tomorrow for your first game, but early for that England game. So, you don't miss out on another pick and drop in the rankings. But 32 and 15, you kidding me?
Just wild.
That's pretty damn good. We got 3 ladies at the top of our rankings. Let's go. That's
whoa. I'm tied at the top with G-Girl.
4 ladies at the top of our rankings.
4 ladies at the top of the rankings. Thank you. Like, come on, Chris.
Sorry,
Show
my
me
bad.
some respect.
Oh my goodness, I totally messed that up. My bad. But yeah, guys, keep making your picks. I'm excited. I can't wait to see how everyone ends up panning out this week. And let's get things rolling. So let's dive in. We have one last segment of the night.
Are people gonna hate my topic, Chris?
People are gonna hate your topic, but it doesn't matter.
It's important.
It's important, and guys, we are gonna be doing a lot of coverage with this too. So, Scotty and I, there's one event that we get hyped more than any. NFL season's hype, right? But there's one event. You name your favorite events, right? There's March Madness. There's Super Bowl. There's if you get into college football, the Final Four, the national championship. There's all sorts of different Masters is a big one. Kentucky Derby, Shark Week, says Cuban. All these different things, all these different events. But one kind of takes a lot of precedence, especially here in America, and that's the World Cup. And we will be covering quite a bit of the World Cup, especially USA when they play. We're probably going to be watching a lot of those games. So we want to make sure that, we're giving that some love as much as you guys love soccer. I know it. Scotty's got some things to say, and we need to prep a little bit because I'm excited. I'm hyped for this. Scotty, you have a coming in hot about Team USA, and I don't want to stall it out any further. Without further ado, here's Scotty A. Smith coming in hot.
Listen, I know a lot of you are like, why are we talking about soccer? Chris and I played a lot of soccer growing up. I love international soccer. I love the U.S. men's national team. I love watching their games until I had to watch these two. So let's just, put it all in perspective. This U.S. team is supposed to be the most talented, they're a little on the young side, but a lot of international experience as far as playing in Europe instead of MLS. Like, these guys are supposed to be great. You got Pulisic, you got Reyna, you got McKinney. You have so many pieces that are supposed to lift this team up and be the best, most talented roster the U.S. has ever had in a World Cup. And mind you, the U.S. has not been in a World Cup in 8 years. We embarrassingly missed out 4 years ago. So this is 8 years in the making. And we're left with the two warm-up games, the two friendlies we play against two other teams, Japan and Saudi Arabia, this past week, as a precursor to get ready to show that we're ready to go for the World Cup. And we lay two enormous eggs. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. Through two full games. For those of you that don't know, they play 90 minutes plus. We had a total of 2 shots on goal. 0 against Japan, 2 against Saudi Arabia. Last time I checked, in order to score a goal, you have to kick the ball towards the goal. Okay? That's pretty simple. That doesn't take a lot of analytics. And we can't do that. This team looks like they're not ready or even close to ready. Now, I'm going to be all in. I'm going to be excited when the World Cup starts. I'm going to support the U.S. No doubt about it. But what? Come on, man. First of all, we played back in June, and we're going to play 2 warm-up games. We're going to play 2 games as a roster from June on in preparation to the World Cup that starts in November? We can't get more games than that. These other teams are playing more games. And we have 2 games and 2 shots on goal. 2 shots on goal. It's a mess. And Greg Berhalter, the coach here, is at the center of it. Let's look at Berhalter's coaching resume. Okay? This was prior to him being hired as the U.S. men's national team coach. He was fired from a Swedish second-tier league. So not even the top Swedish league, which isn't exactly the penultimate league anyway. But the second-tier Swedish league, he was fired for, and I quote, for lack of attacking play. So they were not good. And he was a defender in his day. He played for the U.S. national team back in the day. He was a defender. He coached 5 seasons in the MLS. He finished 7th, 4th, 18th, 5th, and 10th in the league standings in the MLS. It's not exactly a juggernaut. And he never had great results. 0 trophies, 0 international experience. He never played internationally. You know what he does have? He's the brother of the CFO of U.S. Soccer. That feels like maybe we should question that hire a little more. When the brother of U.S. Soccer, CFO, is the one in charge of hiring Greg Berhalter. Now, it's too late now. We're riding with Berhalter. You can't do anything about it now. But if this team fails, how can U.S. Soccer not figure it out? How can you be so unimaginative in the attacking third? I've never seen a team that has less clue than the U.S. when it comes to in the attacking third. I don't know if you guys know a lot about soccer, but it is absolutely wild that we can't piece things together in the attacking third or look like we've ever played a game together before or like we know what we're doing. And then we have breakdowns on the back that should never happen. This team looks a couple months away from the World Cup, very far off from a team that I would at least like to get out of their group, advance out of their group, and make it to the round of 16. Right now, that feels like a long shot, unfortunately. But we'll see. I'm there to support them. I'm excited for it nonetheless, but they have a lot to figure out with probably, no more games. This is it. Their next game is going to be against Wales in the World Cup in November. They have no more games to get ready for. Nothing else to rely on except for practicing against themselves and figuring it out with Greg Berhalter, the mastermind behind it, who's not a mastermind at all. It's just disappointing. It's disappointing. This team has always, this country has always failed in the realm of soccer internationally. We're a joke and an embarrassment worldwide. And it just, there would be nothing like if the U.S. men's national team, I promise you, every one of you that's like, I'm not a soccer fan, If the U.S. men's national team was in like a semifinal of the World Cup, I promise you'd watch and you would be all in. There's nothing like it because the entire world is watching like no other sport. And it's the most important sport in the world, even if it's not here. And we've never made it. We've literally never made it into a final of a World Cup. And we haven't got close in a long time. We made a quarterfinal back in like 08, 04. I can't remember. I think it was 08. But I would love to see a run. So come on, US. Figure it out. Figure out your team. Put the pieces together because the talent is there, even if it is a little young and inexperienced. Let's go. Let's roll with this team. Even if you don't love soccer, love this one event, the World Cup, and watch the US. At least they got 3 games guaranteed. Watch each of those against Wales, England, and Ukraine.
Man, I just want us to be good, man. And reckoning in the chats, like, it's okay. We got a juggernaut in women's soccer. We want a juggernaut in men's soccer. Yeah. Like, we
love that the women's are great. That's great.
It. I don't know, not to hate on the women, but I mean, right now, we have a November 25th date with England that we are not even close to being favored in. And these matchups, you want to talk about, like, we talked a lot about the preseason for NFL and how a lot of teams just took it lightly and just was like, you know what, we're gonna coast in, we'll be fine, no worries, we're gonna get the kinks out. The World Cup, you can't get the kinks out, like you have to take advantage of these times, right? And you know, I just this isn't new. This discipline stuff isn't new. We saw what McKinney was partying one night and then he was suspended for a little bit for some things, and it was like, there's a lot of things that have been happening over a period of time. And I just get, what I get the vibe of? I get a vibe that these guys are just like, I hope I'm wrong. I hope these guys are ready to play. And I hope they're going to put on their game face when it comes time. Because honestly, I just think there are a bunch of prima donnas right now that are like basking in the limelight. And, it just, part of me just doesn't think that when it comes down to actually playing the games, they're going to get there. And that's what's terrifying for me. They're not going to take it seriously until it's too late. So that's where I'm at with this. And it's like, you lay 2 eggs going into it. This is the last competitive games you got. Man.
Yeah, that's it. Bruh. Chairman's like, did football wife fall asleep? It's midnight. Part of me is like, how mad is football wife that she stayed up later than her bedtime to see a rant about, technically it's about football, Chris. Football?
Yeah, no. It got really quiet. All of a sudden it was just like,
people were just like, I don't know. It's like when I talk about golf, everyone's just like, let him talk. I don't know why he's talking about it, but he is.
Yeah, no, it's
jump on board. G-Girl with a very prevalent Mia Hamm reference.
Yeah.
All right. Mia Hamm, one of the greatest female soccer players in history, not only U.S. history, but of course.
So we will be getting into World Cup is coming up very, very soon in November. So, guys, we're going to be having World Cup. We're going to be having NBA, NHL, NFL, all happening. Then not only, think of that, October hits, it's like the hunt for October for Major League Baseball. You got baseball playoffs coming down the pipeline. There's literally not a better time for sports than what we have coming up. We're going to be covering, hopefully, as much as possible. We might be doing more streaming than we've ever done, covering a lot of these games, especially USA. Scotty, I'm going to be hyped for it. And then, what's the time difference between Qatar and United States?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
I mean, we're gonna be streaming at like all hours of the night, maybe. I mean, so let's just. I mean, I don't even know.
Time in Qatar right now. It's 7:03 a.m. So we're looking at a solid. What is that? 9-hour difference?
Yeah, it's so
not 9-hour difference from us, 7 hours from the East Coast. They live in the future, Chris. I think we can actually look up when the U.S. men's national team are playing, though.
So U.S. men's, USA Wales. By the way, USA is
They start with Wales, and it's at noon our time, Chris. Actually, all their games are at noon. It's gonna be great.
Oh,
it's
it'll
gonna
be
great.
perfect. So we'll be taking some time off of work, and we'll be rocking and rolling.
Well, one of them's the day after Thanksgiving, I think, Chris. I think the England game is Friday after Thanksgiving.
Chairman of the
Ain't
board.
nobody working.
How does it work in World Cup tournament bracket style, double elimination? So there's a round. There's a round robin with your group. So there's 4 teams per group, multiple groups. Top 2 teams advance out of each group, and then they move on to the next round, and then then
it's single elimination.
Exactly. So then it's just one-offs. So that's how it works with the World Cup format. When are you going to start streaming? Early, so I can I
won't have to be. She's still here. She's alive.
I'm proud of you.
Football wife, I'm so proud of you, and I know you're going to be back tomorrow, right? Let's enjoy the hell out of this Bengals domination.
She's a rebel. But so that's where we're going to end this tonight, guys. We got to get football wife to bed, obviously, because it's just
I need to go to bed.
We all need to go to bed because we have a big day tomorrow where we are going to be just absolutely just crushing tomorrow night for this Bengals and Dolphins game. So make sure you guys are here for each and every single minute of that game, starting at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. And we will make sure that you guys have some fun playing some bingo, watching the game with Scotty, with myself, and it'll be a lot of fun. Thank you all for being here tonight. Go ahead, spread the word, guys. We are always trying to get more people in here to watch the stream, to be a part of what we got going on here every Wednesday and Sunday, and now Thursday as well. So make sure, share the stream with your friends, get them in here as well. Obviously, welcome everybody tomorrow night when we're, on the big stage, and let's have some fun. Let's get to know some new people and watch some football and talk sports. Let's do it. Yep. So
who knows? We might show up on the front page in a hot tub, Chris. I don't know. You'll have to check us out tomorrow.
That's right.
Maybe we'll be in hot tubs on the front page.
I mean, we already got
Amaranth. Was it Amaranth? Is that her name?
I mean, should I check on Raid to see if she's streaming tonight? And maybe
I would learn a lot.
Maybe we send you to an ASMR stream tonight. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's see.
G-Girl's like, how many subs? 45 more, and it has to happen right now. Cuban has a good point. Prayers for everyone in the hurricane zone, no doubt. Hopefully, if you have family, they've moved out of that area, even if their property's at stake. Let's get everyone out of harm's way with that hurricane, and hope that everyone remains safe and gets through these next. I don't even know how long it's supposed to last, but already the images I've seen are pretty shocking and wild out there in Florida, Chris. So stay safe. If you know anybody, hopefully they stay safe, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm taking a look to see who we can send you over to. Let's see. Give me a second while I browse around and. Oh, G-Girl. Oh, my goodness.
She's like, now we're at 40 more as we're about to leave.
You know what? Should we extend this? Goal? Do we need to extend the goal for like the time frame?
But then it's going to have to be more than 40 if we include next chat. It's going to have to go up to like 60, Chris.
Or how about this? 40. We have 40. If we get to 50 by tomorrow, by the end of the stream. If we get to 50 by tomorrow, end of Thursday Night Football, that's 40. When have we ever gotten 40 subs in one stream?
I mean, I've gotten 25 for like singing. This is both of us in a hot tub, Chris. I feel like we gotta go a little higher. I think we gotta at least get to like.
So we need 40 more. So we said 50, and now we have 10 today. So. If
I didn't finalize nothing.
It's fine. Reckoning says it's finalized. Thank
you.
You.
Banned as a mod.
Thank you, G-Girl, for the gifted subs to Chisel, to Fuzzy, to Cud Life, DeFridge and Wags. Thank you for that. By the way, guys, go give G Girl some love if you haven't already. G Girl, go follow her and make sure you're joining in on her streams. She is fantastic. She's always doing fun streams and covering NFL and doing those marathon days on Sundays. She absolutely crushes. I'll let you get to chat while
yeah. Football wife's like, LOL, you're in trouble. Devil Doc said 75 and Scotty wears a white and blue Speedo. But then Chairman says, wait, Scotty said he's out. Bring in Rachel. No comment there, but G-Girl's on board with that.
Scotty A coming in hot tub while it gets steamy.
Oh, yes, Stevie. Thank you for the biddies, Breck. Thank you so much.
Broncos, it is a little too late. We are signing off, but Broncos, we're going to stream, big news, we're going to stream tomorrow night, starting at 7 o'clock Mountain Time here, locally, Broncos, for the Thursday night game, and hopefully be on the front page of Twitch. That is the plan. So join us for that. And apparently, if we have, I don't even know where it's at, I think 150 subs tomorrow, and we do a hot tub stream. 40 is too low, Chris. 40 is too low.
Is it? I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be hard to get there. Wags.
No. 40? I think it needs to at least be 50 tomorrow. 50 tomorrow.
I mean, and we got to figure out the hot tub situation because we have no idea where we're going to find
hot tubs. Chris is like, we'll just do a bathtub. I do have a jacuzzi.
We have done bathtub streams recently.
What?
Well, or bath. What was that? Oh, laundry room. Sorry, laundry room.
Oh, I was like, what? Wait, what? We did a bathtub scene? We had a stream in a bathtub?
Oof. I mean, yeah, maybe not a bathtub stream. Yeah, no, it's
we gotta find a hot tub. So, Broncos, you live at least in Denver. If you know people in high places that have hot tubs. Ironically, I don't do well. Well, first of all, I won't be able to drink, Chris. I have a haunting drinking / hot tub story where I almost died. I mean, maybe that's aggressive, but if I thought I was almost dying.
Subs for tubs. There you go.
Subs for tubs. I'll get that hashtag going in the in our Twitter, Chris. Subs for tubs.
All right. So looks like we have one person in the sports category that is streaming tonight. Looks like we have
from a hot tub or no?
No, we have. I think we have Bridget going tonight. We'll send you over to Bridget tonight. Yeah.
Yep.
Send you over to Bridget tonight. You know, she's doing some sports, so we'll send you that direction. So
subs for tubs.
Subs for tubs. We can get it done. Yeah. There's a lot of trust out there.
I think we need to at least do 50 tomorrow, Chris.
Raid message sub for tubs. All right, guys. Well, we will be back here tomorrow. For that, we will do bingo. We will gift out subs. Those gifted subs do not count towards the subs for tubs. Just so you know.
Wait, the ones tonight?
No,
it was just
bingo. The bingo tomorrow.
Yeah, if we're gifting subs, absolutely.
No. Yeah, if we get bingos, those don't count. So we'll set the ground rules there, and yeah, we'll do. I'm not gonna lie, we can talk some sports in the hot tub. I mean, that doesn't sound like a bad deal, but we need the subs to do it. So, either way, we'll see you back here tomorrow, 9 o'clock Eastern, here live on Twitch for Thursday Night Football. We can't wait to have you there. Again, we might have a ton of people. We might have like 2 after tonight, after all of the hot tub talk. But hey, either way, Scotty and I will be here, so we hope you are too. Guys, but between now and tomorrow, be a good person to whoever you're meeting up with late at night. Otherwise, get some rest, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. And be a good person to your coworkers. Go live in the moment a little bit, and have a good rest of your night. We'll send you over to Bridget here shortly. Scotty, anything else?
Good night, guys. It was a lot of fun tonight. We'll hopefully see you back in the chat tomorrow night as we watch the football game and hopefully no one sub tomorrow, by the way. I would really appreciate it if no one gives us a sub tomorrow night.
Love you guys.